What is up, friends, and welcome to the VESL Regional Qualifiers Day 2. My name is Jeff, alongside Clutch, as we get into another fantastic day full of Overwatch action. And I do mean full of action here. It is going to be a fast and furious day. If you don't see the team you're looking for immediately right off the bat, don't worry, stick around, because we're going to be bouncing around different games trying to get as many of these amazing players from North Carolina on screen and show you what they've got. Hey, you know what? I even recommend just go to VESL.gg, pull up both streams right now, just have both tabs ready to go, because there's going to be so much Overwatch going on here today. It's going to be ridiculous. We already had an exciting day one, Clutch. Like, what are your thoughts after our first day of competition?
I mean, day number one proved to be a lot. I mean, we saw a lot of matches. We saw a lot of different things because of combinations, because of compositions. I mean, we're only 14 days removed from Season 7, but it looks like some of these teams have a well-off grip. Remember yesterday, North Henderson coming out here with a really nice record of 2-0 to start the day. So we take a look at some other teams that are 2-0 right now. Group I not up there, but Group J right now, West Craven coming up at a 2-0 record. And one of the games that we might be featuring, or we will be featuring here, is JP Knapp taking on Newburn Team B. Both of the teams 1-0 currently according to these standings right now, so should see something fun between two teams that are 1-0. And look, day number 2 right now is going to be the important day. Day number 2 is the end of the group stages, meaning that for a lot of these teams that are going to be playing in 4 or 5 team groups, this is going to be the determination of whether or not you make the bracket coming up tomorrow and the rest of the week. So for right now, you want to get a foothold. This is the day where if day number 1 didn't work out too well for you, day number 2 has to be a little bit better for you, and day number 2 you got to find some adjustments, because if you want to make this bracket, you got to find wins. That's the biggest thing so far. And I think a lot of times as well, teams are just going to look into this. Okay, let's play something comfortable. Let's play something that we're good at. But when the comfortability isn't the meta, and some teams will throw the meta right at you, that's what we noticed yesterday as well. It could go the other way as well. Comfortability, when we saw North Henderson playing that quick up-paced tempo on the Diva and the Life Weaver, and really all of the mobility and escapes that they had, that team can absolutely shred you down. So a team like North Henderson, if they come out, it could possibly come out of this group, or really any group, considering there's 15 groups. So let's figure out what we want to do here. Day number 2, again, going to be super important, Bullskunk.
Yeah, teams from each group. Single elim bracket starting tomorrow. I mean, we are getting down brass tacks here. I mean, especially with these two teams coming to 1-0, and this group is going to be, there's 3 groups of those 15 that have 5 teams in them. So in those 3 groups, they're going to play 4 group stage matches, and it's going to be interesting. This Group J is one of those fascinating groups, and still only top 3 are going to move on. So super competitive Group J here. Some of our teams here all coming from the coastal region, out in the central eastern part of North Carolina. And I mean, so it feels even like rivalries are being made right on the spot.
Yeah, and even future rivalries too, because if you look at both of the rosters here for Newburn and JP Knapp too, you're going to notice Newburn has 4 freshmen on their team, and the oldest person on the team is a sophomore, which is going to be the DPS of B-Sky, which we'll notice later on as well. J-Knapp on the other side too, you've got 2 freshmen lined up on the tank of the DPS, and then 1 DPS, 2 supports lining up as juniors. So none of these guys going to be graduating, which means even if they don't have a say in what their bracket potential is going to be, they actually have another chance later on if this keeps going. So I mean, really, this is more just settling down, making sure you've got, and look, for the team that's that's mostly freshmen, I should say, out of Newburn, the fact that you're 1-0 means you've got some stability, you've got a good start here. So as we head into our first map of Elios here and the Lighthouse, this is going to really, today is going to again show you the determination from these teams. Day 1, if it doesn't go their way, day 2 is going to show you a little bit something different here. Maybe they adjust, maybe they go back to their great coaches that will tell them, hey, let's group together, let's breathe, let's stabilize here. But for Newburn right now, you're looking at pretty much something along the lines of that Bastion that we normally see, Lucio Mora, for that speed. But the one thing I am surprised about on both ends here is that the Roadhog comes out if this stands, because I have not seen a Roadhog here in quite a long time in Overwatch 2.
No, I mean, it could certainly work. I mean, unless you have an on the other side, a Roadhog can be nigh unkillable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Newburn absolutely building for the future and building some strange compositions along the way. This is one of 3 teams coming out of Newburn. They love their Overwatch over there, and it's exciting to see all these freshmen here. 6 freshmen in this game. Not a whole lot in this league, but let's see what they got. It's Newburn taking on JP Knapp as we kick off day 2.
Yeah, and you can see the competition as well with the Eati as well, kind of a different thing. But this Reaper is going to play a lot in your backline, and already a first kill for the Reaper as I say that.
Yeah, Water Bottle's trying to see if they can pick out Jackbird as well, but oh no, now she's going to find herself surrounded. The Melody comes up not just with that opening pick, but manages to get several more on the back of it. Newburn grab that first control.
Yeah, and the Melody already with this Reaper coming out very, very big, because with the Reaper, I mean, nothing to check in so far, and especially with the Reaper onto a Hog combination, if there's nothing to really stop that Reaper just can run rampant, free in your back line, and with that Wraith form escape, easy enough to get out of. So what this Cassidy and Soldier combination are going to have to do is try to protect the back line, because otherwise, and try to group together, but if that Death Blossom comes online already at 77%, that's most trouble for this team from JP Nap.
I mean, before you even finish your sentence, Melody's put another 7% on the board, and that kill, it's only going to go up even higher as Melody continues to hound this JP Nap squad. Death Blossom now alive, ready to go. Johnny has to fade out of there, no more cooldowns, leaves Cosmito kind of up alone against the Reaper. But fortunately for JP Nap, they managed to find Still Red Snack and get the source of healing out of there. Large sustain now absent, and with that, JP Nap trying to see if they can close things out with this whole hog. Takes down Beast Guy out of the corner. A lot of low health bars too off the side, including the Death Blossom from the Melody.
And Cosmito might have just saved the game there. Melody using the Death Blossom, but gets knocked off the map entirely, so that Reaper goes for nothing there. And so a big, big play from JP Nap's side. They get the point flip. And honestly, with the way this is going right now, JP Nap can have the abilities to stay alive in this. This is the stall comp. The healing pylon's going to help you out a little bit. And even just no Ana, like you were saying, either that's needed for this composition. Now, Newburn is going to have the Melody come in and kind of rip away, but they do have 3 ultimates to work with on either side. So this is probably going to be a Q game of really both sides adding up.
Oh, Newburn going to use their only DPS ult to start things off, but Big Man Bo is already falling on point as Water Bottle makes their way in, and then just sneak one out, goes around the back looking for another hook. Meanwhile, there's a Captive Sun on the objective itself, and Jackbird finds 2 on the back of it. Still Red Second Lander just get bunched up enough, and Jackbird gets 2 quick kills, ends up with 3 before it's all said. Make it 4! Nice job from the Yari.
So the Yachty Outburst, for those that don't know, provides you a chance in an environmental kill the same way a Lucio does with the sound wave. So the Yachty getting 3 there on this map, not surprising, but shocking at the same time, because I thought Newburn had a chance at that. But now you've only got 1 ultimate, which is a Coalescence. JP Nap coming up too. And the big thing for Newburn is they did not get the healing pylon at all. That thing is still up before this fight even starts.
It's going to fall on the approach. Lander once again is able to start things off strong with Newbird in general. Move on to the outside. Oh no, this Coalescence is going to force everybody back. Japper won't get it done that time as JP Nap is forced back. Cosmito is already down as well. So with the tank absent, this is just an inevitable flip in the making.
Yeah, inevitable flip here for Newburn. They get it right back, but I want to see the ultimates online for both sides, because I know that you were saying a Coalescence got used, but this fight is still going actually, and now there's 2 off the map.
These guys getting a lot closer to their own sound barrier after that double boop. Everybody's taking a swim here on Lighthouse. Hope you brought your floaties, friends.
Yeah, what is that, like 7 eliminations now? I mean, this is kind of unreal to think about. 7 eliminations off the map. I mean, it's got to be something of that nature. I don't think I've ever seen this many environmental kills in one game. Uh-oh.
I thought Melody was just going to Death Blossom from the top ropes. Ends up getting picked off by Kajuka Bazooka, or Kajuka Buka. There we go. Cosmito with another whole hog. There's more. Add to the tally. Down to the beach party you go. Lander and Water Bottle join the plethora that have been sit down with environmental kills. And this one's enough for JP Nap to potentially hold on. There's the touch at the very end. Still Red Stack will fall on the back of that. Melody with a Death Blossom gets interrupted, gets taken down, hooked out of it. No shot. JP Nap will take our first sub map.
Yeah, and I mean, really good job by JP Nap there to keep hold of it. I mean, Newburn doesn't even get a chance to use the sound barrier from Beast Guy, which is really, really big. So for right now, I mean, JP Nap looking pretty stable, but at the same time, that was a very close map, number 1. Very, very close, because you had basically everything going your way except for the end. And really what that Yachty provides as well, just constant healing with the healing pylon. Yes, it's not main healing, but I mean it's still really big output healing at the same time, even combined with the gun as well. So this Yachty doing wonders. Now you wonder if Newburn decides maybe we try to go on a stop the Roadhog that Cosmito has been playing, because Cosmito has been playing such a great game on the Roadhog thus far for them. And now Newburn deciding, well, Mercy Lucio, maybe Mercy to boost up the Bastion mainly, but this is not going to provide a lot of healing for you. So it's a good thing you've got a Roadhog with the take a breather as well as the Reaper escape on Wraith form. So this is going to be pretty interesting to find out if Newburn has enough healing for what JP Knapp can bring.
I don't know what happened to Johnny. Missed a rollout or something, but ends up off the side, and that means a 4v5 for first fight for JP Knapp. A lot of sustain lacking, and Kajukabuka feels the brunt of that. Water bottle able to find Cosmito as well. Looks like the more utility-focused supports working out well here for Newburn. They'll grab first cap, but they're still missing two of their players. And here comes some reinforcements for JP Knapp.
Yeah, I mean, good so far from JP Knapp, but I mean, just building ultimates to that Yachty Captive Sun, because really nothing to cleanse it. The only thing you're going to have here to cleanse that is maybe a sound barrier at that. But Newburn, on the other hand, not coming up on a single ultimate except for Lander's artillery strike. But as soon as I say that, this is a very quick fight here that Water Bottle's going to be in trouble.
Well, they're able to hit that take a breather. Look at all extra healing coming from the Mercy. Love that addition to where Take a Breather kind of acts like a bio-nade from an Ana. Captive Sun coming out from Jackbird. Had a huge one in the first game. Trade from the DPS. Jackbird is looking for somewhere to drop that Sun. Believe that did land onto the Mercy behind Water Bottle. And Beast Guy had to just kind of back up. But it doesn't really dissuade Newburn whatsoever. They are still as steadfast as ever, holding this point. Hook into Water Bottle. Just gets him closer. They're open. Oh, look at this flank. Big Man Bo finds Beast Guy out of the back. It's just Lucio healing. The melody is extremely low as well after trying to Death Blossom. There's an opening here for JP Knapp. They got to act now.
Gotta act now with the, there's a great hook to disrupt the entire whole hog. So well done by JP Knapp. So now they have the entry, but do they have enough to go ahead and go right on into this point to capture it?
Well, it's Lander picking off Johnny on that approach. Once again, I feel like the Bastion is just hunting this Moira, knowing it's going to be the bulk of their sustain, which was just made life difficult. Jackbird's still bringing it back, though. She has been utterly impressive here on the Ayari. Nice hook. Lander is gone. Follow-up shot. Beast Guy fares no better. Lucio's going to dance around and build up as much percentage as they can on the point. Oh, no. Gets out at just the right time. Ah, can't quite get away. It was a good call, still Red Snack, but Jackbird's not letting you go.
Yeah, Newburn, though, showing good discipline, not wasting any ultimates. And as I say that, there's the artillery strike, which everybody can get out of here. So that's one ultimate just gone. So now the really things you're going to have are two support ultimates need to come up big. No TPS ult coming up from Newburn as well. Knapp's going to have the Bastion artillery strike and a Coalescence and a Captive Sun. JP Knapp on the right foot here if they want to keep this point, especially with only 15% left for Newburn.
Able to bring it back last time. Captive Sun combined with artillery strike. Actually didn't even need the Captive Sun. Oh, man. It's individual kills, individual targeting. Jackbird takes half the team. Kajukabuka takes the other half.
I mean, I feel like you didn't need all of that. I mean, like you were saying earlier on, I feel like you didn't need that Captive Sun, maybe not even the Coalescence that Johnny used as well. If you're able to build it up quickly, that's fine and all, but now Newburn's coming up with two ultimates on their own with their Valkyrie as well as the Sound Bearer. So if the Melody can bring themselves up to the Death Blossom, this is going to spell real trouble with no support ults coming up for JP Knapp.
We'll take a breather at just the right time. Jackbird already 45% towards another one. They just used it. She just used that ult. That's ridiculous with the Cosmito down. Both takes her out. Rez coming through in the back line as Beast Guy just has clear as day. Nothing contesting that Rez. Still Red Snack sits two more below in the meantime. Still Red Snack holding down the front line while Water Bottle's getting Rez in the back. And this one's going to get flipped once again. Sound Barrier just to ensure it. A hook puts Jackbird into the well.
Now you're in a back foot situation here. You lost the Yachty. That would have been a back-off situation. Regroup with the rest of the team because you still had 15% left to go. So now this is just going to be a stagger fight in favor of Newburn right now.
Kajukabuka is not quite getting the touch. The Lucio is there to boop them back. They want to get on just at the last second. Okay, successfully moving through the artillery strike just to initiate the overtime. But Kajukabuka cannot stick around in this fight. It's Jackbird with a Captive Sun trying to be the hero for JP Knapp in our second sub-map. Doesn't look like it's gonna land. It was aiming for the back line, but nothing to be found. Newburn will hang on. This time we're headed to our third and final sub-map We're going to the ruins.
Yeah, going to the ruins, a good map from Newburn there, knowing that they could hold on. And JP Knapp, though, at the end, feel like you could have backed off, like I was saying, backed off just a little bit there because even if you had 3 people down, you could have had a chance to regroup, make sure you guys had one more chance at the team fight. 15% still is 15 seconds. You had chances to regroup and get that back all together with the Lucio, with the Diva that you were pulling out as well. So JP Knapp kind of feels like a lost opportunity, especially with that captive Sun, the way that went. You didn't have much of a follow-up besides what the Yachty was bringing. So just a lost opportunity. I feel like going into this next map, though, Newburn bringing out the same thing. Don't fix it's not broken. I guess the Junkrat was working out really well. A lot of open space, though, so I'm surprised. Really no flyers or really no snipers, but the fact that you're still going to have a soldier who should bring you some good opportunity if Big Man can get themselves going with that tactical visor pretty quickly. And Jackbird's been pretty good getting up the ultimate. So JP Knapp just has to play their cards right, and this Kitsune Rush plus the Bastion plus the meat grinder of that whole hog can absolutely shred a team. So if that Kitsune Rush they play around it, they have a good chance at this.
I just saw the L in Big Name Elbow's name. I was calling the Big Name Bow. There's an L in there. I'm sorry, I'm blind. Nice shooting here out of Lander into the backline, but Cosmito's going to win the duel between the 2 large piles of bacon. Hooked down into the middle, and JP Knapp drops low. Newburn content to stay on the outside, lays some shots down. Lander has to back up for a little bit of heals, but you do still have Still Red Snack was contesting for quite some time. So just now are JP Knapp able to grab that control and start building percentage. And now suddenly Cosmito is dead. They're not going to be able to hold on to this for long properly.
Well, they can if the Helix Rocket starts that off, but again, Lander just being boosted up, just going to be able to shred away means that it's going to go back to Newburn. But in the process, though, you do lose a couple of pieces, right? I mean, you lose out on the Coalescence, you lose out on the Mercy, or excuse me, Moira very early on in that fight as well. So JP Knapp just really didn't have any support and really didn't have any self-sufficiency to help them out. So now Newburn's got this point. Now they're going to have a Valkyrie coming up. They're going to have that artillery strike. Not only that, the Death Blossom in the backline. So JP Knapp's got to be pretty big and got to pretty much run this dry if they want to have a chance at this. And do not let that Kiriko fall, because I saw that health bar fall just a little bit, Jackford.
That was scary. That was real darn scary. Big Man Elbow is going to fall. Here comes Kajuga Buga around the corner. Just catches Lander completely off guard. Death Blossom into the back, though. Melody gets spotted out. Can't use it. Has to Wraith Form and just get out of dodge. Seeming to touch a panic. Getting caught on that ledge, knowing that they almost just fed. There we go. Tip number 2. This time teleporting up to the top, but Whole Hog is there for Cosmito. Still, Melody can't quite line it up. Rounds the corner. Oh no, there's a Roadhog right in your face. That's not going to cut it either. The Melody's still struggling to find a place to use this, and meanwhile, Kachukabuka has managed to work their way underneath the front line. Newburn have been annihilated.
Yeah, great Kitsune Rush alongside of a Whole Hog and a artillery strike as well from the Bastion. That'll just rip away at your team, and the Melody just looking for an opportunity to use it. You can find 1 kill on a Death Blossom. That's not too bad for you if you get 1 kill. I think the worry is just getting hooked on by the Roadhog. So just right now with 3 ultimates to use, just wait for a hook to be used. And as soon as that happens, Big Sky just out of the fight now. It's all Newburn.
That was a long distance grenade. Holy cow. That was a Kobe from across the court. Finally, the Death Blossom does come out from Melody, but not enough reinforcements there left. Now, I say that, Lander's still here, Water Bottle's still here. And from what I can tell, as long as the Bastion is still alive, that Newburn is not out of this. They pull this thing back despite going down 2 early in the fight.
Yeah, they didn't use the sound barrier there, which is really good for them. So still Red Snack gets that sound barrier online to them, which is going to be very much needed considering that I'm assuming Big Man Elbow is going to look for attack visor here. So just hold on for the sound barrier. But if they use that sound barrier early like this, it spells trouble. But they did use it with the tactical visor, so well done there.
Yeah, it was in a direct response to Big Man Elbow putting their ultimate in the battlefield as well. Water Bottle falls early once again. Man, these Roadhogs, I was talking about how invincible they are, but with the Bastions, I mean, you can't underestimate that Bastion damage. Incredible res out of B Sky, and Water Bottle is back on their fate. The same cannot be said for Melody or Lander. No DPS here for Newburn. And this one is going right back the other direction. Both supports down. JP Knapp with a clean finish this time to the fight. Not letting stragglers take over.
Yeah, Mercy players, don't remember, if you're rezzing in front of the team, unless you have a Valkyrie, that's a really risky play. So they get the res off, but in the end, you lose the Mercy, which means JP Knapp can just go run rampant. So now 63%, 3 ultimates online. I'm assuming they're going to use the Kitsune Rush here alongside of that Whole Hog, meaning it's just the meat grinder that's going to be coming up. Nothing online to help out Newburn with this.
This is quickly approaching final fight of this map. Water bottle went down early, exchange of hooks, and they back out, trying to build up to the rest of their own. Here comes the whole hog, Fox combo, and into the brink goes Big Man blow, Big Man elbow, but unfortunately just gets thwarted. Like the whole hog rush didn't do it. They could not break through the seal, couldn't get past the choke. So much damage coming in. Melody will eventually fall, but Water Bottle is dropped off the top rope with a whole hog of their own. Managed to find Cosmito with that one, while Landon takes down their counterpart. This one is going the distance. Big Man Elbow has to drop in, take it on 1v2, and will win at least one of those out. But still, Red Snack has shown up, as well as Beast got to back up their hog, and Water Bottle is there to clean up with all the supports, all the healing they need. Even got a res to get Lander back into this fight. Newburn are on top and in good place to take this map.
Yeah, very good place to take this map. Kachukabuka will be the only one left to go, but Diva's not going to really do you any good, and a boosted Bastion as well. It's just the Diva you want to get rid of already. Riptire comes out, and at the same time, Newburn coming out with a great map here, and the Lucio still contesting really well. I mean, yeah, this Lucio's just not going to have it, but it's going to be a map taken here from Newburn, and well done by them to really take control of that. You saw the Kitsune rush alongside of that whole hog. That was the win condition for JNAP, but what they didn't realize was as soon as they used it, they're running right into a Junkrat, and in that choke point that you call the lower end on Ruins, that's not a place you want to run into, especially with Junkrat bombs just kind of spamming you with damage left and right inside of that choke point. So well done by the Junkrat there of Newburn. That gives them the win, that gives them the chance to ultimately take map number 1 on Ruins. So overall, great play there from Newburn. JP Nap had their opportunities, but it was a close map. I like to see close maps like that. That means both teams are kind of pointing out each other's flaws, making sure that they can take advantage of it, of one after the other mistakes that they've gotten. So well done, both teams. I'm excited to see what map number 2 brings up to us when we get to Midtown.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be an exciting series. A big shout out to Jackbird there. I mean, she with the 5K on the Yari was an outstanding player, one of the most standout of that entire map as far as I'm concerned. But we're going to have to wait to see the conclusion there. We're actually going to cut in. We're going to go check out. Oh, okay. I was about to say we were going to cut into another match, but that map just ended. So never mind. Clutch. It looks like we're just going to stay here and what happens with this one. I think this is going to be an exciting map. There's definitely a world where JP Nap send us to that map 3.
Yeah, and map number 3, if we get there, is going to be New Queen Street, which is push, can't tie. Hybrid is the only one that can tie here, but as close as it is, I don't think it draws out of the realm of possibility here, because you're looking at both teams really playing at each other, really just throwing hands one after the other. But the big thing here is that in Midtown, we normally see something of a brawl, something sort of just go right on in with that shred combination. In meta, normally it's been Arisa, Sojourn, May, Bastion, along with the Baptista and the Lucio. We haven't really seen anything of that combination except for the Bastion so far. So for Newburn, trying to boost it up with the Mercy, constant boosting is not a bad idea either, although it's less healing when you've got that Mercy Lucio. And if somehow, some way, JP Nap can just bull rush right through them into it. And I thought this was going to be Midtown, and but my mistake. I guess we're going to Eichenwald here. So Eichenwald, the map play for this match. So a little bit more of a chokehold here, especially underneath that first main point bridge that we'll see. And Bastion's coming out here will be really well. First time, if this holds, we're probably going to see a Life Weaver. I'm not opposed to this at all because of the verticality that can bring you, especially if that Widowmaker stays as well. You can pick up some backlines pretty easily.
It looks like we're sticking with the round 1 map pool, which was Ilios, Eichenwald, New Queen Street.
Oh, I see. That's why. I thought it was.
Well, they're both 1-0 as well. So I say like how thinking that we should be on the map 2 or the round 2 map pool, which would have been Midtown. Lijiang Tower, Midtown. Yeah. Wow, look at this opening. That didn't take any time at all, Clutch. Holy cow, Kachukabuka's already found a pair. And looking for more. Lander, there's no way to go. That's 3 for Kachukabuka to start things off at JP Nap. Man, wasted no time trying to get back in this series.
Yeah, remember when I said bull rush from JP Nap? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen here, especially with that nade being also good. And look, the verticality from both the Life Weaver alongside of that Widowmaker is just going to make things a lot easier here for JP Nap to run through. So now it's just a mirror battle, but Jackbird finding a jump shot there means they're going to have plenty of time to cap this with 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I love the comp here that JP Nap is running, especially with Sigma being one of the tanks that is meta right now that can absolutely counter the Hog in certain parts of the kit, especially with the accretion on the whole hog as well as the kinetic grasp if the hog decides to run into that. So I really love the kit and I really love the setup here from JP Knapp. But now it's the determination. Can New Bern stop them here on this bridge, especially with now, they were on the Junkrat, which I thought could have been an okay pick, especially top down verticality wise, but now you're going to have the Bastion instead. So I kind of like the shred idea of just no shield to defend what JP Knapp is bringing, although that shot on Johnny to start is really good.
Oh, what a pull for B-Sky. Oh, they sacrificed themselves so that Melody may live. We'll see if Melody can do anything or if the sacrifice will be in vain. Slow heals from Still Red Snack means Melody's still waiting around to get topped off. Water bottle hanging out top of the stairs. Melody decides to go back in on the point. I'm not sure you have any backup. You need friends, Melody. Oh, just get rocked out of the Swift Step or the teleport. Swift Step is the Kiriko one, but nevertheless, you get my point, friends.
Can't really just use the shadow step to get out. But anyways, so you have the ways to get in and the ways to get out for JP Knapp. You have the escapability with the Life Weaver, Life Grip, and now it's just playing as a group. You can see the way that they're grouping up together, already finding a kill, and that's what this composition is turned around on. If everybody stays together, and as long as they're not getting booped off the map by Lucio, it's looking really good for you as JP Knapp is showing right now.
Cosmito definitely winning the tank battle. And which could just be a battle of cooldowns. But Kajuka Puka has been lighting up this feed like there's just no tomorrow. Anybody gets anywhere remotely close to this team, Kajuka Puka has their number. And right now, it looks like they're going for the Lucio. Oh, there's one of those boops that you were warning us about. Johnny apparently did not get that memo, and that means that is minimal healing available. Beast Guy shows up with the Zenyatta to find a pair as well. It's the supports coming in from New Bern to stop this card on the bridge.
Yeah, and a big ult just gone there. Big man using that life, or Tree of Life, I should say, and really coming up with nothing. That Tree of Life needed to be used way, way earlier on if they wanted to save face in that fight. So big plays, and I love the pick onto the Zenyatta instead. Only problem is going to be the lack of healing, really, because both of these are small singular healing as well as small AoE healing. So with the Reaper, again, with the Reaper and so with the Roadhog and so as well, no on JP Knapp's side. Only person you got to worry about healing is the Bastion. So the Orb of Discord working out very well from them, as you just saw in that last fight. But here comes Jackford behind.
Oh, yeah. Moving over into the DPS role here from map number 2. Sound barrier out from Still Red's neck to keep New Bern alive through the Gravitic Flux, but Jackford is still right in your face. Has not been dealt with. Went from 20 to 75 in ult in the snap of a finger. And JP and Knapp are going to bust down this door.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy door claim and a well done job by JP Knapp. Although the game, I guess, was Overwatch because they released all three of their ultimates and they felt the Gravitic Flux, the Artillery Strike, and the Coalescence was needed. And look again, the pressure, the bull rush that they're going to have in, especially when you catch on the Roadhog like this.
Oh, the impressive aim from the Yari is making a lot more sense now as we see Jack at the DPS. There she goes with the Death Blossom. Oh my goodness. Only Melody is able to escape with a shred of health. Torn to bits by this Reaper. That is another ace for Jackbird, their second of the series.
Yeah, Death Blossom really bad when you can't even use a Transcendence to help you out there. So really big play, but the Melody's got one of their own. And look, nobody's looking at Jackbird. This Roadhog doesn't even know he's being shot in the back.
Just chunking him down, already halfway towards another one. Look, there's a tasty Zenyatta. Oh, but there was a Junkrat there next to him. Still, JP and Knapp have done more than enough to reach the back end, assuming they can clean up this Lucio. Do not let this Lucio stall out. Okay, there you go. Johnny there with the orb, with the automatic tracking, able to finish off that pesky Lucio, and JP Knapp cap with tons of time left in the bank.
Yeah, this composition working out so well for JP Knapp right now, especially the way they're just playing as a group. They're playing all together, not using all of their ultimates at once, and making sure that they're playing this team composition to its full strength. The Sigma, again, really in the meta right now, especially when you consider all the games that I've been watching so far. Sigma's been up there, Orisa's been up there, and so Cosmito playing the Sigma to pretty much a good C here, protecting the team, using that accretion very well in correct positions, and the cooldowns that they've been using very well done from JP Knapp. It looks like an entirely different team from when they dropped map number 1 back on Ilios. So now New Bern's got a tall task to do with them. 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Mind you, folks, again, we'll remind you of the math here, because the map itself goes 8 minutes for your entire attack, not including overtime. So the fact that JP Knapp completed Eichenwald, mind you, of all maps in 4 minutes and 4 minutes and 41 seconds is an absolutely unreal stat, and really shows you the way that JP Knapp is working this right now. So For Newburn, again, you just got to find a way through. I like B-Sky's pick on the Kiriko here, along with the Baptiste. That should provide you a lot more healing, especially against a Shred composition like this. 2 immortalities with the Protection Suzu and the Immortality Field, and Lander's just going to have a whaleable time, especially if Lander just keeps getting boosted alongside of the Kitsune Rush and the Application Matrix.
Water Bottle sticking with the Roadhog, heading into Cosmito's Sigma once again. Can just be an exchange of cooldowns. Sigma can block the hook and rock the hog out of there, take a breather. Sigma ends up on top, and if you hook that Sigma out of that kinetic grasp, it can quickly go the other way. Water Bottle's going to go inside, lands the hook on a Kachukabuka, but tons of healing there. Immortality Field even comes out from the attacking Newburn, and look at the onslaught. JP Knapp just pry open the door of this little shop, and Jackbird takes over.
Yeah, against a team like this for JP Knapp right now, you cannot group up like that, especially for Newburn. Yes, you had the Application Matrix. I mean, not Application Matrix. You had the Immortality Field. Yes, you had the Kitsune with the Protection Suzu. But in that tiny room, the nade is just going to pop off, and everything in there just to spam damage, especially with these Sigma Spheres, are not going to help you out. So right now, just not a group up scenario, and especially when Jackbird gets a kill like that, again, no momentum whatsoever.
Lander was trying to work off the flank angle, which coincidentally enough was main in this particular situation, but because of the location of the team fight, that was the flank. But Kachukabuka was all over it. Just use their what is this? This is the recon form to just keep them at bay. I mean, look at that. Look at the accuracy. Who needs assault form when you can get kills like this?
Yeah, I mean, just Kachukabuka having a whale of a time, especially on Eichenwald. I would consider Eichenwald the whole map for Bastion right now. I mean, this is showing it why, just the shred down in one part. And again, just this team from JP Knapp showing so much stability right now, especially when you got a big time bank in. Really, all the kills falling for you in your favor.
Uh-oh. Still Red Snake kind of feeling the touch of desperation and just using that to pull the defense back, create some space. But Kachukabuka just steals the space right back. It's like, no, 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 no. This is my archway. Newburn, you cannot have. Here comes the Melody in by themselves, but they're going to find themselves surrounded if they're not careful. Rain forward to try to get out, but still no health, and Jackbird will find that kill.
Yeah, good kill for Jackbird right there, and that's going to force them back. This is the regroup scenario, guys. I mean, we're still fighting this out, and look, it's just going to return in dividends here for Newburn. And now the Steva, if you stagger the Steva correctly, this is going to be really good for you just to waste away the time angle, which they are doing right now. Letting her go a little bit, letting the Moro chase her, and yeah, there it goes. So regroup Newburn. I don't like the stagger that's going on right now. See, you even used an Immortality Field already, so you don't have that for another 25 seconds, which is really bad news, especially when our artillery strike comes down.
Yeah, Kachukabuka saw that Immortality Field come out and was like, this will be the perfect time to unleash my secret weapon. Then it's just a massive explosions landing on a Newburn and further stopping them in their tracks, further demoralizing this Newburn squad as they attempt to make an attack here. Once again, still Red Second's got to pull back, has a Soundbarrier, I suppose, to delay this stall for as long as possible. If they so choose to use it, certainly don't want to get an Ajax. That would be worst case scenario. Hook here, it's gonna buy a little bit of space, but still Red Snake eventually falls on point. Jackbird hunting in the back. Ooh, look at that juicy Bastion. He's gonna go take that battle up against Lander and wins it without using the ultimate. Now he's gonna come up behind both the Melody as well as Water Bottle. Melody down to 1 health, and there comes the Death Blossom. That'll find both.
Yeah, I don't know if this Roadhog pick is actually working out well to me. I mean, all the time in, it's just been a rundown here. Newburn needs to switch off of this Roadhog, in my opinion, because this Roadhog's just providing you nothing. There's the shield to block. I mean, everything about Sigma's kit blocks out what this Roadhog is doing right now. And I think even Cosmito's lapped Water Bottle on the ultimate, so Newburn just not finding any stability whatsoever, and JP Knapp just totally in control.
They're going to have one last chance at this thing, and they're already down both of their DPS. Jackbird comes off that same flank angle again, finds 3 immediately, gets hooked there and still doesn't want to wait for him out, or at least, yeah, just stands their ground, and Jackbird massacres. She's taking over this map. She is taking over this lobby. JP Knapp have certainly taken Eichenwald. They're going to tie us up. We are going to head to push to decide this series.
Yeah, if you told me the series was going to start off that close and then JP Knapp runs them over into the second map of Eichenwald, I would not believe you whatsoever. I thought this was a closer map than previously stated, but I guess when you're Jackbird and Kachukabuka on the DPS with that Bastion and Reaper combination just running into the back line, I mean, look, earlier on in the fight, this is kind of the description of how it would go. Yes, you have to spam damage, from everything and that healing from the Baptiste Kiriko, but in such a small room like that, you cannot play that angle. You cannot play that spam choke point, especially with all the things that they had to play in that choke point for JP Naps. So really now you're looking at a team from New Bern that has to regroup, has to find some stability. I hadn't seen that at all in that entire map. Yes, you may have defended 1 point, maybe if that, but that still didn't show us anything rather than JP Nap just kind of running it down. And I love what JP Nap did with that combination, especially the Bastion Reaper combination. Reaper can get the back line, Bastion can get the front line. Combination just pinches them in if they're in the choke point. Absolutely love that. And right now, as it stands, JP Nap's got my vote to win this one, because if they're going to stick on this Roadhog combination, if they're going to stick with what the tank line is right now, that's not going to look good for New Bern coming up. But I think after game number 3, we'll find out where they stand, especially a 2-0 going into their group stages. If that is the case, JP Nap's looking really good if they keep on that composition. But I think we're going to a different game right now with Wolfgang.
Yes, we are cutting into North Carolina Cyber Team A taking on Noble Academy, both playing their first game here in the group stage matchup. It's don't have a word on a score just yet.
Yeah,
but
it looks like
we can.
North Carolina Cyber is on the left side, or it's on the blue side, and then right now you got Noble Academy on the right. So I think this is their first game, I'm pretty sure, inside. So I mean, this would be a very impressive.
Yeah, but we're on map 2. I mean, like the score of the series.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would be really impressive to have. But I like the compositions right now. Either side, Bastion, again, probably the meta right now. But Noble Academy bringing out the Junker Queen is pretty interesting on a map that doesn't show you a lot of verticality, and Scotty's will show you why that's not a very good case here.
Yeah, interesting, cutting into a very different look on the exact same map, right? Just so many differences between what we just saw from these two teams. Clearly, Noble Academy managed to get point A with a good amount of time, but feels like they have gotten stuck here. It feels like this didn't just happen. It feels like Noble Academy has been stuck in this position for a minute or two. As you can see, a plethora of ults online to try to break this open. There's plenty on both sides, Clutch.
Yeah, plenty of both sides. I mean, lots of ultimates. This is going to turn into Overwatch, and especially with that Molten Core starting off. Captain Sun as well. This is just going to throw out ultimates left and right. Who's going to get the better of it?
Yeah, I mean, looks like Crystal is going to find some value with that Captive Sun. Makes it so difficult. You can't group up, and you got to use a lot of cooldowns to fight it. Goes to even getting the Battle Mercy involved. Pulls out the Glock. Punches Scaramou in the face. Oh, my goodness. NC Cyber Academy have really built a wall here on point B.
Yeah, so far so good. And again, I love the verticality that you have with NC Cyber. Now you're going to have 4 ultimates coming up online for Noble Academy. NC Cyber comes up with 2. The big one, though, could be that full-time projector, because if that Bastion gets free reign behind a shield to just run up on you, Noble Academy's entire team is meant to bull rush right at you, especially with that Rampage. So big-time play here if that full-time projector can come up in time.
All right, how are Noble Academy going to break this open? They've got 4 LCS, and they're going to start with Attack Visor first. Wanted to go for the Mercy. Oh, but a perfect Photon Barrier. Just splits it in half. I have no idea, seemingly not knowing where to go. Meanwhile, a self-destruct finds 2 of their teammates, and this is starting to fall apart. That kill out of Solomon might be a star, but you got to stop this res. They can't stop the res. Solomon is back. They did take Mercy out, though, but with all of that damage from the Bash, NC Cyber Academy are still too tough to dislodge.
Yeah, Photon Barrier comes up big from Sorzu, so really big play, and that was the one Q that could just disrupt everything. And you saw Noble Academy using 3 of their own with the Rally, with the Tactical Visor, and the Rampage coming for nothing. One Photon Barrier can do that for you. And so now NC Cyber Academy, no support ults coming except for Kitsune Rush, but that doesn't deter a Captive Sun. If they know that the protection Suzu is used early, that Captive Sun is going to be big, especially the way Noble Academy has to group up for this fight.
Crystal with another Captive Sun. Only took 2 fights. I have no idea. It's already down. 5v4, favor the defense, and here comes the Sun. That landed onto a couple, and nice Suzu. Able to at least cleanse themselves, but Turda not so lucky. Falls to a grenade. Noble Academy trying to strike back. Now they've got to get some kills if they want to try to bring this fight back, but Detox has already fallen as well. Hinkle down low. Scaramou gets just melted by the Symmetra, and Noble Academy have run into a total wall. Doesn't matter the ultimates. Hinkle gets another Rampage up, and they still just have no room to do it. NC Cyber Academy have put a chokehold on this. They are not giving Noble an inch.
Not at all. Now it's going to hit the overtime clock. You do have ultimates to work with, but this has got to work out right here, right now. You do get rid of Solomon, which is huge. Got to stop the res, though.
It was a Kitsune Rush as a Molten Core to try to make it happen. Solomon has been res back up like you said. Where's the Bastion? Oh, Bastion gets hit by the Rampage. Okay. Inkles is trying. They're trying their hardest to pull this thing back, and we have devolved into, I believe, a 4v3 favoring the defensive Cyber Academy. Photon Barrier up for that squad now as well. We're in the thick of it, trying to shield off all this damage, but so many low health bars from Noble Academy, hanging on by a thread, and Sorzu just snapped that thread in half.
Yeah, an absolute showcase here from Noble Academy on this first turn as well. And you saw NC Cyber Academy coming out with that Diva because you had that big play with the Bastion, and the entire composition focuses on protecting the Bastion here, obviously, with the Mercy boosting the Bastion, the Iati having the healing pylon constantly near the team, and then you also have the Diva with the defense matrix just protecting everything and anything. So that Junker Queen basically becomes useless at all. So now I think we're going back to another game entirely here, and I think this was the game we initially started off with, which was JP Knapp and Newburn. So this game going into map number 3 in Coliseo right now. So Coliseo, we'll see what their team compositions pull out as.
Yeah, we're cutting back to see the conclusion of this epic matchup where Newburn was able to squeak out a win on Ilios, but JP Knapp dominated on Icon Volt. Cap with 3+ minutes left in the time bank, full hold on point A. I mean, JP Knapp have all the momentum coming into Coliseo.
Yeah, they have a lot of momentum coming into Coliseo and really don't have to fix a lot of their composition. The only concern I would maybe have right now is maybe the more of the more. It gives you a lot of escapability options. Maybe the Coalescence will help you out as well. But against the Roadhog, I mean, it's shown and proven so far that they know what they're doing against this Roadhog. And Water Bottle on the Roadhog, I feel like this is a comfort pick more than anything else. But comfort, like I've been saying, in this game mode right now, in this meta, comfort is not going to win you games, especially when this team from JP Knapp just kind of shredded you down entirely in that last map. He's kind of moving over to the DPS role here from map number 3. Lander, who had played the Bastion previously, has moved into the Yari to try to match Jackbird, who has gone back over to that same hero out of the DPS role as well. So could be a very interesting matchup between these highly accurate players, both picking up our newest and most deadly support player. Yeah, and you're watching right now. First fight, I'll give you a percentage, folks. First fight wins. If the first team is able to get 20 meters, they usually win 79% of the time. That's what the number is in push. So and if you're able to get the first checkpoint, that percentage gets even higher. So right now you can see all the damage being poured out. But the biggest thing is that for Newburn, they cannot find a kill on this healing pylon. That healing pylon is your go button here, because if that healing pylon's gone, you've got a chance to win this fight. Unfortunately, they're not able to find it, which means still big healing for JP Knapp. I mean, just look at the two Yaris. Jackbird able to find a pair of kills. She's already 85% to that Captive Sun. More than doubled the damage output there from Lander. And it ends up being a huge difference maker that duel anymore. Meanwhile, Jackbird picks off the Hanzo. Yeah, and look, I mean, you're talking about an ultimate already for the Iati of Jackbird. And so now you have this Captive Sun, nothing to counter it, no sound barrier, but a good pick onto Johnny. This could be a green light. JP Knapp have crossed that 20-meter mark. In fact, crossed the 30-meter mark. We're saying it's such a big milestone here for this map. But again, 2 back-to-back fights. It definitely goes a long way to getting that cap in those closer spots. That's a Bastion with a lot of damage and a Captive Sun. Water Bottle never stood a chance. Oh my goodness, that was a laser meeting a stick of dynamite. It was just attached to that Roadhog's chest. Yeah, and again, this Roadhog really doesn't provide you much, again, with nothing to boost you, nothing to help you out. So this is a good swap. I like this. You're swapping, you're playing something that you think can counter this. The Diva can counter it. I would like to hope so, because at least you can try to at least shield a little bit of damage from the Bastion. It's going to be first checkpoint heading on over to JP Knapp for right now, but big thing is you have a sound barrier to work with. Unfortunately, Still Red's neck goes down. No sound barrier coming up. And Jackbird finds Lander and Melody. Oh my goodness, she is cracked out of her mind. This is so taking over. Oh my, I mean, the only girl in the lobby and is killing everyone. I mean, like, I'm sorry, just amazing. Jackbird might be your player of the game. I want to see how many eliminations. Oh, hands down. Like, there's no question. There's no question. Yeah. I mean, you got to find out how many final blows Jackbird has, how many final blows she has on the elimination side, and how much damage, because I bet you this Iati is doing way more damage than any of the DPSs right now on Newburn's side, because this is just absolutely insane. Coming up on 100 meters, JP Knapp just has all the answers. Newburn needs to find some answer right now. It doesn't help when your Gitico gets staggered out like that.
That was a headshot from Jackbird. Kajukabuka just got the final blow, but Lander's health bar went to nothing after that headshot. I mean, it's such an impressive performance. JP Nap as a whole, honestly, but I think a lot of it has been on the back of just this phenomenal Yari player / Reaper player. Kajukabuka, very powerful in their own right. He's going to get the D-Mac there. Sends the Baby Diva down below, nothing but squishy targets here in front of Big Man Elbow. With attack visor ready to unleash, decides to play a little patient though. Oh, caught the Morphlink. What a good call out. It's the tire. The tire is what'll do him in. And Newburn have find themselves a little sliver of hope.
I don't know if you can say this is over yet because again, they haven't got rid of the healing pylon and now they do, but Jackbird's still popping off.
I mean, the spawns are just so close. Eventually, Jackbird's just got to bail on this, right? Right? Oh my goodness. Still Red Snake down to 44 health. Kajukabuka was actually the focus of the fire coming out here from Newburn. You can see all guns pointed at that Bastion. See if they get that out of there. JP Nap haven't managed to disengage very, like a soft reset here. They keep their players alive. Beautifully done.
Beautifully done. I mean, you have only a Bastion and an Yachty there, and still somehow they both stay alive. That's such great plays from Jackbird as well as Kajukabuka. And now with a kill on the Beast Guy, this is your go button here. JP Nap's on all kinds of good pace here.
Yeah, Cosmito got back into the fight. I think I got the D-Mac on a water bottle almost immediately at the beginning of that. I mean, it's just nothing but small targets, easy pickings, nothing to block it out. And look at the damage output. Everybody, 4 or 5 players from JP Nap can sit back and just unload damage in your directions, just like Big Man Elbow has done to the Melody. Now an artillery strike over the top from Kajukabuka. Just scattering Newburn to the winds. They throw in a sound barrier, but still Newburn are not able to stay alive through the overwhelming damage coming out from JP Nap. Oh, okay. Water Bottle sneaks in a self-destruct, Coalescence in the back, and Newburn are showing us some tenacity, some perseverance, and I love it.
Good. I mean, they find their footing just a little bit. Self-destruct will help you out, especially on that double kill. Now you just got to get rid of this Moira, guys. This Moira is just going to cause you a little bit of problems if Johnny gets away. And if Johnny gets away, that'd be impressive. But no, the Melody cuts them down. But still, 117 meters, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. A tall hill to climb, especially when JP Nap's been playing the way they have been. I'd be surprised if they get at least to the first checkpoint here because there's no ultimates online for Newburn. It's only JP Nap with this Captain Sun, and you know what Jackbird can do.
Already let it rip into the back line. No kills coming on the back with just yet, but you can see Newburn are very hesitant. Melody was the one to try to go in, and well, proving why the rest of the team was so hesitant. They turn the corner, and Kajukabuka has a big Gatling gun just pointed right at their face. Just one tiny little baby diva hiding behind the team of JP Nap at the moment.
Yeah, I was talking about a checkpoint. They didn't get a meter at all because JP Nap was too quick on it to regroup everybody and make sure that they couldn't flip that. And now they got 4 checkpoints again. So Newburn's got to find a way to do something here. That Death Blossom is going to be oh so important. You just got to make sure the call out here is that accretion is used because that's your only stun right now.
I mean, maintaining that middle checkpoint means JP Nap never lost close spawns, and they were able to stay in this as much as they have been. Take this clock down. We felt like we've been fighting on this corner for 5 minutes with the Gravitic Flux coming out from Cosmito to try to see if they can tilt what is already a losing fight, but Newburn managed to stay the course. Focus fire on point here as Newburn's calls serve them well. Cosmito will fall, and Newburn have another opportunity to try to rob that closer spawn.
Yeah, and a big thing there, you talk about spawn advantages. Yeah, that's exactly what JP Nap has. They have the spawn room right basically at the end of their tunnel coming up here when we get to the Caves of Rome, or rather, I should say, the entrance to Rome here. So, I mean, right now, this turret, this Molten Core has to be pretty big. I don't think I've seen Beast Guy get their ultimate just quite yet as soon as they switched on over to the Torbjorn. So, this has got to be big. You've got 4 ultimates coming online if you do so, but that artillery strike, big thing. Artillery strike as well as attack visor could be very big for them.
Somehow Melody gets into the back and finds both supports. What a massive play coming out of the Reaper. I mean, they sacrificed themselves for it, but an incredible advantage here for Newburn, and one that they're able to convert on and finally deny JP Nap's close response.
Yeah, they finally get it, and now they don't have to worry about the healing pylon. They have enough damage to do so. So now that you have Beast Guy coming up on that Molten Core, coming up on the Sound Barrier as well, that could very well help you, especially against things like artillery strikes and attack visor. But Jackbird coming up on another Captive Sun, and the Coalescence. JP Nap have the advantage on this. That Sound Barrier is going to become oh so important coming up.
The attack visor start things off. Still Red Snake throws down the Sound Barrier just to counteract that one ultimate. Those 2 support ults lingering here for JP Nap, but Big Man Elbow has already dropped. So Red Snake Able to keep the team alive through all of this, but the artillery strike now comes in on the back. Both the support elves from JP Nap now unleashed. Coalescence looking to melt down, but the amp is there. The healing on point from Still Red Snack. Unfortunately, Melody does get caught out by one of those ults, and Kajukabuka is able to find another. Still, JP Nap, somehow they managed to stay on, to hang on through that, dodging around the Molten Core from Newburn.
Yeah, I mean, gets 40 meters out of it, which is a great job from them knowing what JP Nap had. But again, JP Nap just throwing out all the ultimates, threw out 4 there, and to win out that fight, that was pretty good. So Newburn's, you got to feel pretty happy about it, although B-Sky got to find a way to get an ultimate, a bigger ultimate, because you know that Molten Core can help you out. Water Bottle with a self-destruct last time was pretty good with it, needs to be big here.
I think just had to use it to remake, unfortunately for them. So it's not going to be any kills, just an extra 650 health for Water Bottle to try to use to force back J-Mac and Kajukabuka, but apparently that's not enough. Not enough HP. Kajukabuka will slice through all of it. Is feasting back here, and well, just adding to the pile. Water Bottle decided to give them a little dessert. Yeets themselves into the back line of JP Nap. JP Nap are going to regain that checkpoint.
Yeah, regain the checkpoint, 50 seconds left. Newburn coming up with nothing except for a Coalescence. No swaps, I don't think you should do here, because you're coming up on a few ultimates of your own if you can get it within the last 40 seconds. JP Nap coming up on a lot of ultimates, and yet again, Captain Sun is the one you're watching out for, especially with artillery strike happening at the same time.
Checkbird is building him up so ridiculously fast. I mean, she's starting at 50. Does it just reset to 50 after she uses it? Oh my goodness. Speaking of, Cosmeta's going to trade themselves out using their own ultimate. Artillery Strike is going to force Water Bottle down to the lower level, while Big Man Elbow is going to finish off the mech form at least. A lot of fire coming over the front. B-Sky is forced to move up and try to contest. Play the tank role in lieu of the mech being gone, but cannot stick around. Just does not have the cooldowns or the health pool. The overwhelming odds coming in from JP Nap. Now, with that said, they've lost their Moira here. It's just a healing pylon to try to keep Big Man Elbow up. Cannot. Melody finds too. Captain Sun released here from Jackbird. Picks up Lander with that. We are in overtime, so that's an important kill and one that'll take a little bit longer to get back in the fight.
Yeah, not too bad though. If you're a Moira, you can just use the fadeaway to get back to the rest of your team, but still a big overtime. And look at the Sigma's hoping. Sigma thinks that they can play this around the corner, and that's absolutely going to be the case because they can't find Jackbird for the kill.
I mean, they got both supports there to back them up. Including the Coalescence as well. All they gotta do is last long enough for Big Man Elbow to get up this tac visor. It can be done in dust, and Melody gets shut down. Tried to Death Blossom at the end, but JP Nap, stay confident, stay on top and in control, and we'll come back after dropping the first map on Helios and win the series.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Bullskunk, but you know, earlier on yesterday we were talking about some colleges looking for recruiting and all that for different schools. If you're a recruiter, you're looking at Jackbird right now. She's absolutely on a tear with what this Iati is doing, and that's why deserving of play of the game and probably player of the match, I would say, so far, because absolutely nuts on the Iati. Seems like building up that cap. So really just looking at this and looking very good, and we're going to head into a break here in a second, but I mean, overall, JP Nap is going to be a team to look out for. Maybe Control wasn't just their map. Push and Hybrid seemed to be more of their map style, especially the way that they can pull out the Bastion combination, the Shred on the Sigma. Now that they know the Sigma can work, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for the Sigma Bastion combination alongside of Jackbird's Iati, because that's a lot of damage that's going to be poured out. So watch your backs if you're playing JP Nap.
Yeah, JP Nap looking in fine form. And like I said, no reason to change. Seem to really find their stride there in that series. Moving up to 2-0 here in the group stage. One more game for them left to play. And we have plenty more Overwatch coming your way, though. We are going to take that intermission. But when we come back, our key marquee matchup of our second quarter of our stream will be NC Virtual Academy taking on Noble when we return with more VESL Regional Qualifiers.
Welcome back, everybody, inside of the booth here for the VESL group stage. Right now, we've got ourselves another game going on, and I believe we were told that this is the NC Cyber match versus Noble Academy. They're into map number 3 as well. We're in Colosseo right now, and yes, scoreline's out of it, 1 apiece. Trying to find out what round they're in right now, but as it stands, you can see the Orisa, one of the meta picks, I guess you could say right now, and an application matrix already used. Not good news, because that matrix is basically going to go for nothing here unless they can get something big out of it. Nichols does go down, or Hinkles, I should say, does go down, but nothing doing there for the Orisa. So this is just a scrum fight left and right. 30 meters to 11 meters being the scoreline here, but it's an Echo versus a Pharah, and the Echo is going to escape. Wow, the Echo just escapes with their lives. So Orisa ult, Kiriko ult, as well as the Pharah ult. So Rocket Barrage, you've got the Terror Surge and the Keaton Rush at the same time. 3 ultimates on the side of Noble Academy. But right now, Sorzu comes in on their duplication on their own. So 36% as NC Cyber Academy comes back with the robot down about 25 meters. So we'll get to see where they're at. And it's very surprising that with the Pharah combination, not really seeing a Mercy, but you do have Turtle on that Life Weaver to kind of help out that air healing. Meanwhile, the Mercy does come out from the Echo side of NC Cyber Academy. Ghost is able to get the res up, and the Sparrow's in a lot of trouble, able to get out with the life grip for right now. Rocket Rush still available. I have no ideas. Able to find a pick on Solomon for right now, so big plays for them. Scotty 95% away, or 95% on to a self-destruct. Could very well get it. No javelin throw either means that the self-destruct could be huge if they throw it up in the air, which they do. Positioning-wise, it's pretty good, and it's fine. Gonna find a pick on the I have no idea. 3 ultimates online now for Noble Academy. Coming up on a 4th. Hinkle's ultimate goes for naught with the Terror Surge for right now. Sorzu also has their duplication, but for right now, it looks like they're gonna back off. Noble Academy does have their ultimate intact. Gonna use a Bob from Detox at the same time. So Detox able to find a way to get the 6th man involved, but to no avail there either. Now it's just a rundown. Here comes the Bastion, here comes the team, here comes the Tree of Life, but that Tree of Life comes up when the Bastion's in third form, so if they decide to get rid of this tree, it'll be really quickly now. Sorcerer's in your backline with the focus beam, takes down Hinkle, and now it's just a Kiriko in the backline. Half the TP out. Crystal's got the kill onto T-Docs at the same time. You have the Keaton Rush available to you. They will not use it. It's back to NC Cyber for right now. So they'll just go ahead and regroup and just trying to push along their ends. 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, still 10 meters on difference. NC Cyber looking to take the lead, and especially again, Pharah not having a Mercy is a very surprising thing for you, but you get rid of Sorcerer. Was that close enough for you to get a res, though? It looks like it is. It's just behind the wall for them right now from that 2nd floor, so that's good news for you, but 4 meters is the difference. Gonna switch on over to the Zarya. Not a bad play here, considering you're going into a D.Va. The lasers don't stop anything unless it's that Graviton Surge. Keaton Rushes will trade right in the exact same area. Here comes the Barrage down from below, because I have no idea where that Rocket Barrage is able to take down Solomon. No res coming to them for NC Cyber, and now Scotty's out of mech as well, means that this Valkyrie's going to have to last a lot longer than they wanted to. Ghost is somehow going to stay alive, just running around, and Sorzu finds 2 picks of their own on the back line. The res does come out from Ghost in the meanwhile, which they do have it. Sorzu's able to go on more of a tear. Hinkle still full health in the meanwhile. The payloads, or rather the robot's still contested, but Sorzu just on an absolute tear, especially with the help of a Mercy right now. Hinkle trying to get out. Hinkle's going to have no escape here with at least the bubbles if they chase down the Zarya. Do you have enough healing and enough armor to get out? Yes, they will. But the contest still has to happen, especially with only 2,200ths of a meter left to go between both sides. And now Bullskunk, I mean, we're watching this game right now, only 2,200ths of a meter, but Noble Academy can make their way back.
Yeah, it looks like we've got into a very close match. A huge grab. Oh my goodness, that's enormous coming out from Hinkle 5. And I have no idea is there to capitalize on it. We'll get credited for all the final blows from that gargantuan ultimate.
Yeah, really big ultimate there, and a big one, but now a big one from Scotty's, who has the self-destruct available. Sorcerer's going to have the duplication as well, can very well make use of either the Ashe or even the Kiriko if they really wanted to with a Keaton Rush. Anything helps here on Noble Academy's side for Sorcerer, especially the way that they have their lineup right now. Anything can help out, especially with the self-destruct to pair up with that.
Was lucky to get out of that one alive. The tracker was real good there from Hinkle. Up on the high ground, Solomon, oh, just sticks their nose out a little too long. I should have saved their gun. And it gets just taken clean off. Fortunately for them, the res is clear. But a barrage over the top finds 3. Sorzu a little late to finish them off. Not before where half of the team gets decimated by the maelstrom of missiles coming out. Self-destruct does end up picking up Hinkle, but this is going to be the checkpoint grabbed by Noble Academy.
Yeah, I mean, a great play overall from Noble Academy, able to get that point and able to get the checkpoint. Their percentages come up even better here. So now Detox having a Bob, not needing to use it at all, but has the Tree of Life available as well. So that Bob is going to be pretty useful here in this next fight, paired up with that Tree of Life if they decide to use it. Sorsu hasn't used the duplication yet. They get the point back because they didn't have enough players to regroup with. So good play by Noble to just back off, knowing they have the checkpoint for right now. So NC Cyber Academy coming up on 2 ultimates. Noble Academy coming up on 3 of their own with the Teach in a Rush. Teach in a Rush, I think, is going to be the key here for Noble Academy if they want to take this back.
Tree of Life out first. Combined with a bop. 7% away from said Kitsune rush. It's actually a rush from NC Cyber. He's got to start this thing off. Goes Dave with an artillery strike to boot. Could catch Hinkle out. Hinkle's kind of right in the middle of all that. Duplicate used from Sorzu. So it's a lot of takes that are trying to pressure out. They didn't get the bonus grab out of it. It's not going to last a whole long. The Suzu is there. And it lasts long enough. Suzu with the doppelganger grab ends up being the big difference maker here in this pivotal fight in the middle of the map.
Did you see how many people were in that grab from Sorzu? It was the entire team.
It was all 5.
Yeah, it was all 5. That pedal platform doesn't help you out. That pedal platform was on cooldown, so really couldn't get anything until that pedal platform was up to help the rest of the team. But either way, Sorzu with a big ultimate, and now NC Cyber on the big foot here because now they have this Zarya and this Kiriko on the ground. You get rid of the Kiriko, that's your win con here, especially with no protection Suzu in.
Solomon already down there. Hinkle used both bubbles to melt them, but look at the low on life. Fortunately, Detox there to back him up and keeps the rest of NC Cyber Academy at bay. Sacrificial res puts Ghost back in spawn. Solomon not alive for long enough to make a difference in this overtime fight. Looks to be going over to NC Cyber, or to Noble Academy with the DMAC there on to Scotty.
And no one able to touch the point. That's it for the map. So Noble wins the map there. And so Noble getting it, winning 2-1. And for this, I mean, for the series overall, not too bad if you're looking at the performance there by Noble Academy. The big one, though, the Pharah left unchecked a lot of the time, except for an Echo. If you're an Echo, I mean, they were playing Echo Diva, and really nobody keeping the Pharah in check except for a couple of moments here. They were really all focusing on the Zarya, which really when a Pharah is in your composition along with a Mercy, that's not the best thing to do. You want to keep your eyes on the sky, on that Pharah left unchecked in this process, and with the bubbles and all from the Zarya, that leads up to some big plays from the Pharah. So well done from that team, and so overall, not a bad thing at all, especially for not a bad way to get their win, especially on Colosseo like that. But again, unchecked, unfazed was that team. So for NC Cyber, they needed to check the skies. They just didn't do it. Sorzu, though, really coming up big on that Echo for a couple of plays that I saw while we were coming back from break. So Sorzu, I mean, not a bad player at all. Just needs to get the teamwork just a little bit more down, and they're all set to go, I think.
Yeah, it was a good comeback there from Noble after dropping Eichenwalder. We saw him get stuck there on the point behind Eichenwalder where NC Cyber Academy was just able to stop them from, I mean, it looked like 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, they looked stuck there for a couple minutes before we even cut in, and it was over 3.5 on the clock when we cut into that map too. Noble still able to bounce back at Colosseo. End up taking that series. A good start, and well, I think we're just going to follow that team. We're going to follow Noble Academy after that 3-map banger into their second match here of group stage, as they're going to take on NC Virtual Academy.
Yeah, and you can see the group standings right now for NC Virtual and Noble A right now. Is you can see them in Group A. Noble A and NC Virtual both 1-0 in this case. And for right now, you're looking at teams that are 1-0 and starting off their group stages. Remember, there are 15 groups, so maybe their schedule's just a little bit different. But here in day number 2, we'll wrap up the group stages, and this maybe will. And I think there are a few groups here with 5 games or 4 games, and they need to play 5 teams in the group. So for right now, this getting your foot in the door with a 1-0 start is big, and especially when the top 3 gets in, this game is very, very pivotal because you're looking at pretty much in a bye if you can win this out, especially if you get a 2-0, you get that forward momentum. If you're able to stave the 3-0, great. That's guaranteeing the bye, obviously, but a 2-1 wouldn't be too bad either, especially that you either guarantee yourself a first or a second with a win here. So a very, very big a very, very big game here for both 1-0 teams, especially in this group that is just starting off. We have not seen either one of them except for maybe NC Virtual, which I believe we just saw, or Noble, excuse me, that we just saw as well. So both of these, so Noble that we're just seeing looks pretty dang good with the composition that they have, especially if they're going to play that Pharah that's going to be kept unchecked. So if that Pharah keeps continuing on and on to be unchecked, I mean, just watch out because that rocket barrage can come up very, very quickly.
I mean, an unchecked Pharah, especially a very skilled one, can wreak havoc, completely take over a map. You have to adjust your entire playstyle around the Pharah. You have to change your entire game plan. What you were gonna do? Just throw it all away. I mean, that is the punch in the mouth that no plan survives is an unchecked Pharah right there. So yeah, it's we'll see if NC Virtual Academy can pull an answer out, because Noble are looking really strong. I love that when the teams kind of find their own identity and make it work. More so than just, this is the only hero I'm comfortable on, but they really find something they're strong at and elevate that strength and kind of take things into a new direction. So how the meta gets built out, people can escape being just one-trick teams or meta slave teams and really grasp onto an identity, and you love to see it.
Yeah, I would love to tell you that, I mean, playing the comfort picks will always work out, but unfortunately in the game of Overwatch, you got to be pretty flexible. It's not like Valorant where if you pick one character, it'll stay with you throughout the whole thing. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to change in the middle of a game. And the fact that a lot of these teams will have tanks that are kind of flexible with it, maybe not just one comfort pick. Remember we saw this in the very first game where they kind of stuck with the Roadhog the entire time, but I feel like that was more of a comfort pick, if anything, because they switched on over to the D.Va very, very late and very too late, if I should say anything. So now you're getting a lot of tanks now that are pretty flexible, and that's what we're seeing out here, right? You've got the Zarya, you had the Zarya flip earlier on, which did help them. You also had, earlier on as well, some Junker Queens being played. Orisa was also played as well earlier on. You have a lot of tanks playing a lot of different things. So when you show flexibility, even the DPS now too, if you show a lot of flexibility, you're probably going to show out and win, because you can basically counter in this game of Overwatch, which is more or less rock, paper, scissors, if you think about it, unless they decide to play the mirror, in which case it's just rock versus rock the entire time to see who's going to budge first and throw out scissors, if anything. So now we go on to our first map of Lijiang Tower here. This will be Noble A versus NC Virtual. And for right now, we see what they're going to bring out. I like the Sigma pick here from NC Virtual. They have the Sombra as well. Really haven't seen a lot of Sombra since the rework here. And players will either say they either love or hate this change that basically Dr. Al Strange is going to pull out here with the Sombra, because the virus can do 100 over 2 seconds if that target is hacked. So it could very well do some great dot damage, and especially against a team like Noble Academy, if Hingo is going to play the Zarya, that's just going to clean away the Sombra entirely. So really, this, again, the game of rock, paper, scissors is going to come down to the Zarya versus the Sigma for me.
Round 1, capture the objective.
Virtual can use the Sombra rework to their advantage. No teleporter from either side. So both teams are just going to take the long and lumbering route to our objective to kick things off.
Yeah, I'm liking that so far. I mean, just playing careful, no teleporters like you were saying, so no symmetric cheese, if you will, to start off this map. But you can see how much space that the shield is taking for right now. So now they're opting on the other side, but it's a good thing NC Virtual doesn't have to worry about a Lucio for right now. But now that they're going around the corner, that's already first kill onto the Kiriko. That's big.
NC Virtual definitely has that Lucio, as I have no idea. Just found out in the worst possible way. It was a good pickup on the rotation. NC Virtual saw Noble Academy make that dip, saw Turtle with the life pool, and Noble Academy immediately tried to speed around to the side. I said speed around, but just get over there as quickly as they can with no Lucio. NC Virtual completely read it like a book and don't even allow Noble Academy entrance on the objective.
Yeah, big thing for Noble Academy, though. They're able to get their healer Turtle up to 77%, which is a Tree of Life, which could be very big. But if that gets shredded down by the Bastion here, you're going to look at a lot of healing just being nullified. So 30%, NC Virtual have it held. Noble Academy can just bull rush this in if they can get that Tree of Life down.
About 50 charge, goes in and immediately gets another 40. That's 2 seconds towards the bubble. This Zarya's in a great spot. Hiko's feeling confident, keeping the whole rest of the team at their back. The rock will not land there from Social. Still, it's good healing from NC Virtuals. They survive a very high charge Zarya. Eventually, the Tree of Life and the Sound Barrier come out from each team respectively. That Tree of Life will stick around a bit longer as that Bastion does not down, and Noble Academy just decide to hoard around it. Throw a... They just kill everybody while they're at it.
Yeah, Graviton Surge plus Tree of Life. You're using that Tree of Life to stay alive. That was so huge for them because NC Virtual couldn't get rid of the tree. So that allows Hingle to build up Graviton Surge, use it to its fullest potential. Social doesn't have the kinetic grasp to kind of counter that. So really great job from Noble Academy. Now NC Virtual on the big foot this time with an artillery strike with that nano boost as well and the Gravitic Flux. But it also helps when you can knock out a Pharah just like that who had the barrage, but it's not coming this fight.
How does a barrage... Okay, I want to see that again. Gravitic Flux here is lucky it didn't get interrupted. Social manages to survive, backs out of there with very little health, but 2 kills, including onto the Kiriko, is a worthwhile endeavor here for NC Virtual. As the manual hack onto Hinkle. Barrage over the top, trying to bring it back, but the kinetic grass just gobbles up all that, says thank you for all that shielding. Look at that big giant green health bar.
Yeah, big. I mean, Social knew that they could have waited for the Gravitic, or rather for the barrage to just use that kinetic grasp on. So very, very well done and very well timed. And that's a lot of shield from Social that's just going to go away here in a second. But for NC Virtual now, no ultimates on the board except for an EMP. EMP is going to be huge, especially against Noble Academy. But Detox does have that Molten Core. Everybody's on the ground for NC Virtual. So if they can place that around the healers, that Molten Core is going to push them back. And Noble Academy can get right back in this in the final fight territory.
Yeah, it's used early, right in the middle of the point as anticipated, and manages to catch 2. The other 3 are forced back where Social is going to find a kill, so it's a 4v3 favoring Noble as they move on to the objective and melt 2 more. They will flip this thing right on back, and just in the nick of time, too.
Yeah, unfortunately for NC Virtual, the only the player that I can see taking down this far right now is Ulysses and Saturn, but Saturn's going to move on over from the Bastion, knowing that that Bastion's going to get targeted, and now Saturn has basically a complete way to try to take down this Pharah. Remember, the Pharah hasn't been in check, and the only healing you've got is not a boosted Pharah, so that's good news when you get rid of the Pharah like that very early on. It signals a go button here for NC Virtual to take it back.
I have no idea getting caught out. 2 fights in a row. They're towards kind of in the in-between fight. I mean, getting caught, I guess, early in the fight. EMP out from Dear Strange. But Social is the one who ends up falling. It's a Graviton Surge now invested in the mix as well as the Tree of Life. And that's enough for Noble Academy to send NC Virtual all just running back through that door well. They want no piece of this. And they're running out of time, too.
Running out of time, somebody needs to get there. Your only chance is a Lucio right now for Marvel. And so if Marvel can get there, you got a chance. But yeah, this Lucio's looking a little low on health.
Down barriers out! Oh, they don't quite make it. Had to take the long route, and we're just a half step away of getting that overtime going. But, alas, it's Noble Academy who win our first sub-map. That was just one sub-map. It felt like such an intense battle between these two.
Yeah, and like I said, the rock, paper, scissors can go on until somebody shows scissors, because for 2 of the rocks that are right now that are Social and Hinkle, they're playing a really well done game. But I do want to point out one of the supports again, Turtle on this Life Weaver. And this is my personal opinion right now, Tree of Life is one of the best support ults in this game. Tree of Life can provide you so much healing, and unless there's something of a purple from either a Rampage from the Junker Queen or a Bionade from Ulysses, that Tree of Life is going to give you so much value, allow you to push right in, allow you to survive and sustain for the rest of the fight unless some big damage comes in or that Tree of Life goes down. So Turtle's doing an excellent job on this Life Weaver, placing down the Tree of Life at the right moment, saving Noble Academy in that last fight and making sure that they've got a chance to win it. So now we head on over to the Gardens. Nothing changes here, and almost trying to get a boob off the map with that first Pharah blast, but nothing doing there. NC Virtual can come right in, but question is, do they have enough, as Noble Academy is the first one on the point?
Another dangerous concussion blast, but in the end, I have no idea. Not able to find anyone and gets picked out of the sky. Saturn rounds the corner with Detox right in their sights, and 5 strong NC Virtual make their way on to the point where Hinkle is just retreating and only just running back into more NC Virtual players.
Yeah, and I like that patience from NC Virtual. Yes, they knew that Noble Academy could flip the point first, but they knew that their go button was getting rid of the Pharah. Now they don't have to keep any eyes in the sky. It's checking to make sure that everybody on down below. I'm not too sure about Detox on this Ashe here. Yes, you can get longer sight lines, but you're hoping for a Dynamite to stick and helping to get a quick percentage to get that 6th man available to you. But I feel like you could be a lot better on a Soldier or something of a Soldier nature right now, but instead Detox will stay on this. So it's just going to have to be some big Dynamites here from Detox to burn away the damage, especially with NC Virtual having an on a Lucio combination that can just stave that away as much as they possibly can.
68 charge and counting. Hinkle's trying to move back onto this point. Artillery formation down here from the Bastion on the other end as the two kind of dance around this center pillar. Hero Strange wants to work on the outside, but oh no, Hinkle's just managed to plant their flag. It picks up two. I have no idea. He's going to come up with another one. Not even sure where the far is at. Oh, just hanging up in the skybox on top of the point. Nobody can see him. I have no idea. Look at me dangling from the top like the most deadly chandelier. Finally, Social, with a little bit of the sound barrier from Marvel's Tokyo, wants to do something, but it's just not enough. I have no idea. It's still completely unchecked on this far.
Yeah, again, just unchecked. Saturn was trying to check that, but just nothing doing there. And now you're going to have a switch in the middle of the game here. I guess I'm not too sure what we're watching here. It's going to be Reedsville against Kearns, I guess. But earlier on, I was saying that nobody was really checking this. It's a 5v4, actually, with Kearns playing this. So I'm not too sure what happened to the other DPS player from Reedsville. So I guess Kearns on the attacking side looking pretty good here.
It's an unfortunate turn there for Reedsville. Hate to see it. Hopefully they get their fifth player back in this lobby ASAP. They're missing one of their DPS, so it's going to be tough for them to punch through across this bridge. So they're giving it everything they got. Quirky Turtle's able to pick up one. Even the odds, at least, it's a 4v4. Looks like the CW is, just had to bail on that attack. Runs back to health, but still, on that point, it's Kearns Academy who pick up the final kills necessary to close out that fight and maintain their possession on this objective.
Yeah, self-destruct comes out from CW. I mean, that's just pretty much it. But the biggest thing there is the biggest thing is having a 5v4 combination. I mean, I think we've all been through that where there's just one player that's just not in. I'm not too sure if there was a pause or anything that could have helped them out. But there's a boop off the map there. But now they're getting themselves in a great position here. But it's a good thing you've got the healing. Transcendence is going to come out at the same time though, and Reedsville might actually be able to take this.
That was a great transcendence to protect the res to get Shaken Turtle back into the fight and grab a lot of space, but Clever Turtle falls on the approach. Love the names of this team, by the way. Still, there is a duplicate online here for Clever Turtle. If they can make it back, that's the kicker. And there's a rally up. Big giant shield right in the face of that Sigma. And unfortunately, Shaken Turtle cannot get away.
Wonder if we can go back to that other game that's going on right now because, yeah, I mean, overall, you can see final scores there from this team. So right now, as it stands, I guess our games, the games for Reedsville didn't look very good there because of obviously a 5v4 is a very, very tough situation. So Kearns Academy up 1-0 for right now as we get to look at the play of the game in a game that we didn't get, or round that we didn't get to see back on Control Center. Just kind of throwing out the bomb left and right there and making sure that they get another 2 kills. And that's what a D.Va can do to you. With that D.Va mobility, if you can't kill it, isn't very good. And I think in our other series, we're tied at 1 apiece. And yeah, the Gardens go right to the other team here that of Noble, I believe it was. So, I mean, this is really, really good. The fact that they were able to stave away Turtle's healing and the rest of the team here, which is pretty big. I think Detox might have been the one that changed that, but now you've got the Torbjorn again. You got a lot of spam damage that can happen here. I think that was on, I think we're going to Control Center here if there's a stop spinning movement here from this on if we can get off of that. But I think it's Control Center that's going to happen here, which means it's a lot of spam damage that's going to be involved. So for NC Virtual, some places to get into with the Sombra. But for the Sombra on NC Virtual side, just got to find a way to flank other than that in this one, because otherwise it's just choke damage and spam damage coming up in the server room.
Let me bring it back on our previous sub map. Up in the first. Now, an opportunity here with their Zarya competition. Take away. Steal this one from NC Virtual. Oh, but they're going to have to do it without their Kiriko. Social picks up Scaramou on the rotation. The rest of Noble Academy trying to drop down low, and Scaramou gets caught up in that white room area and just can't rejoin the rest of the team. Now, Social and the rest of NC Virtual have a massive advantage. They're going to take care of that annoying little turret up on the high ground and see if they can win out the rest of this fight. But the kills have not been coming through for them. Enough time has passed that Noble Academy is going to get their 5th player back in this fight.
Yeah, and I talk with a lot of collegiate players as well. They notice about the Sombra right now that the Sombra doesn't really input enough damage, which is why they're kind of just backing off for a little while, knowing that they just have to wait for the Sombra to get a hack off. And if they're hacking onto this Zarya, who has bubbles to cleanse that out as soon as there's 1 second off of it gone, that's just going to lead to 100 charge, and that's exactly what you're seeing here.
Yes. Zarya cleaned up on the back of all this. And the whole time, Noble Academy did not allow NC Virtual ever to cap. Despite NC Virtual going up by a player in the fight, and arguably the most important outside of the tank, losing the Kiriko early in that fight. Still, with the advantage, NC Virtual, they're just not able to capitalize and get kills.
Yeah, not able to capitalize on the kills at all. So now Noble Academy's got this in their pocket here where they're going to come up on 3 ultimates. And again, that Tree of Life is going to be so important. If they can't get rid of it, NC Virtual is looking at a lost fight. Even with the Sound Barrier, that Sound Barrier doesn't last as long as a Tree of Life does. But NC Virtual off on the right foot.
That was a good bio name from Ulysses. Started that whole thing off on the right foot. Big purple just push the snowball down the hill, and here comes Social just shoving it the rest of the way until it amounts into an avalanche. Just Noble Academy. NC Virtual will finally get control on this point. Felt like they should have gotten it the first time.
Yeah, it also should have felt like Turtle should have died there, but Turtle got away. Even a rock thrown at him at all. I mean, they got away, and now Turtle, good discipline from Noble Academy, not using a single ultimate. NC Virtual only needing to use a tactical visor there from Saturn to win this. So it's 4 ultimates on the side of NC Virtual, coming up on 4 of their own, maybe 5 from Noble Academy, but I have no idea. Taking care of the Somber means no EMP coming up quickly.
Jack Visor from the outside on the back of that kill. Kinetic Grasp can't protect everyone. There you go. Shield in their face. Suzu in the back. And I think it was a heal nade in the back there from NC Virtual. They're able to stave off some of this. No, it wasn't Suzu. Oh, man, this is turning all kinds of around, but it's going to be Social flipping gravity to see if they can turn this fight around. But no, not having any of it. Noble Academy managed to survive the onslaught, managed to survive the gravitic flux, and maintain their position here on this point. 66% and counting.
Yeah, if Turtle doesn't have that Tree of Life, by the way, there's no defensive ults, no protection. Suzu, so Skyramu doesn't get and really, I think Social gets at least 2 picks there the way the health bars were looking before that Tree of Life pulse. So really big ultimate from Turtle. And now you're going to have a Graviton Surge alongside the Molten Core, which if they pair this up correctly is going to be huge.
It's fairly large. It's medium. It's above average, we'll say. Still, no kills on the back of it. The Kinetic Grasp there to protect everybody. Might have been able to eat the grab itself, but alas, just denies any follow-up damage. But still, Dr. L. Strange manages to get themselves picked off once again at the beginning of this fight. The Sombra struggling to get any purchase, and Noble Academy are going to win 2 sub-maps in a row to bring Lijiang Tower back into their favor. Start off this first to 2 with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to talk about all the plays there from Henkel as well as the DPS side. But again, shout out Turtle. This team composition right now proving a lot of healing and too much healing for NC Virtual right now. You love the Tree of Life play because that Tree of Life, they know their win con. If they can get rid of the Life Weaver, they know they can use that Tree of Life. And look, again, the sustain here from this Tree of Life lets you build up to the Graviton Surge, lets you build up to a play of the game Graviton Surge, which everybody takes advantage of for that team kill. That's how big this is. If Henkel can just stay alive on the Zarya, everything else will follow. That's what the Tree of Life there is for. That's what your protection Suzu is there for. Life Grip follows. Every escapability tactic you have and every survival tactic you have lands up on the shoulders of both the Kiriko and the Life Weaver, which they absolutely did. So shout out to the supports there from Noble who get the win there, and an absolutely bonkers map from them. So now we move on to our next map there, which would be Midtown coming up for this between these 2 maps. I like the way Midtown plays, especially into a Bastion composition, but with a brawl style like the Zarya does, the Zarya can pull out underneath Midtown's regular main street as well, and that could force them to kind of move in. Remember, for the attacking side, if the Zarya comes at you, you've got a chance to defend it. But if you're defending against the Zarya, do not let that Zarya charge up whatsoever, because at 100 charge on defense, that thing is deadly.
Yep, it looks like we're actually cutting into a different match. I don't know if we're going to follow this one into Midtown just yet. We're going to Northwest Kerberos versus Concord. Saw Concord a bit yesterday, if memory serves, on stream. I flipped back through my notes. Yeah, we saw Concord High taking on Sun Valley, the very first game of our stream at the top of the broadcast yesterday. And they struggled there, dropping that one. But here they have a 5v4 on Lijiang Tower. See if they can make their way into our single.
Yeah, again, a 5v4 a situation you never want to be in, especially when we get to the end of Lijiang Tower here. I'm not too sure why there's so many 5v4s happening, but 5v4s, and Freeze getting 2 kills on the attack. Do they have a shot at this?
Yes, they actually will get some percentage going on. Unfortunately for them, they used their tire at the very end of that. Cactus might have put a whole lot of that. Got a little excited there, Cactus. Okay, it happens to the best.
Yeah, I mean, now you've got no ultimates on the board. Concord, all they have to do is press Q in the right order here, and they've got it, especially Terror Surge, and nothing to really defend that against. No shield. I mean, even if you had a shield, it's really nothing to do here. So Northwest just kind of waiting here and making sure that they can play out all the ultimates. In a 5v4 situation, yes, it's tough, but it's winnable still if you can make sure that Concord pulls out the Qs and it gets to nothing.
Yeah, it's going to have to be very meticulous playing around these ultimates, and unfortunately, Northwest cannot. Leone Shoddy is able to find 2, basically 3, with the Terror Surge. That's 75% of the team falling under the 1 ultimate. Concord already at 99, and they've already won 1 sub-map. Taking out this baby Diva just spells the end of that map, and Concord will go up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, they will go up 1-0 in the series here. We're going to go back here in just a couple of moments, but that's, I mean, it's really, you know, interesting whenever you play a 5v4 situation. Nothing really great comes out of it. So overall, great match there. I mean, for the team that we just saw from excuse me, from Concord, they're really needing to win, especially not really starting off the right foot. And you want a win on your board, especially if the top 3 out of a 4-team group makes it, because obviously if one team goes 0-3, that one win very well makes the difference. And if 2 teams go 3-0, 2 teams go 0-3, that really can't happen anyways. But I mean, if you in any situation whatnot, you're looking at basically a 1 win being the carry into your top 3 scenario. So good win by Concord to see if they take that into the next map wherever they go. I believe it would be Midtown next if they keep on the same map pool that we've seen so far. But overall, I mean, day number 2 so far, providing a lot of different looks and a lot of different plays. We've seen a lot of fire play. We've seen some echo plays as well. Zara coming out one time. Arisa. I think we've seen almost every tank imaginable besides a Reinhardt as well as a Wrecking Ball, I think, are the only 2 that I haven't seen yet inside of the pool thus far. So really just a plethora of tanks being played, a plethora of DPS is being played. Maybe the Sombra is probably the biggest reach pick, as well as the Ashe that I've seen so far. Ashe on control map is usually not something I would normally see now in this meta. So really just a lot of things that we're seeing. And now we're going to go back here to another game, Reedsville versus Currents. And this game is going to go to Midtown here with Currents on the attacking side. They've already got the first point, 3 minutes on the clock. But you can see Reedsville putting up a fence so far, and not too shabby, especially with 2 ultimates on their board.
See how Reedsville looks when they actually have a full 5 turtles there to back them up, and not just 4. They have found their lost turtle and are holding very close. I mean, this is an ambitious spot, but with the Orisa, I mean, I don't mind it. The Shaken Turtle is able to just kind of camp out on this corner. A lot of heals available from Magic Turtle on the Ana, and that Nano Boost is available as well. Clever Turtle on the opposite side, though, needs to be very, very careful.
Yeah, very careful indeed. 3 ultimates coming on for Reedsville, a 4th coming from the Terror Search, but Currents Academy coming up with no defensive ultimates for this Gravitic Flux. This is going to have to be a lot of healing, especially that Nano Boost from Magic Turtle. It's going to have to be big. And now you've got nobody checking this Junkrat right now, which means if any damage lands, that's going to be a lot hurting.
The Camster used a tire that forced Shaken and the rest of the team back, but here comes that Terror Surge you were referencing. And it's going to pick up at least 1, 2, as the Energy Javelin just pierces through King Modio. And a nice use of ultimates. Nano Boost invested late, but Reedsville still have a couple to hold on to. They still have a couple to use for next fight.
Yeah, Currents doesn't have any defensive ultimate, so now you're going to see some swaps on over. Currents does have the Baptiste to try to hold on, but the Immortality Field gone so early on, and the Nano Boosted Terror Surge is such a threat if that gets so many people up. And now 1 person leaving the game here for Currents means that Reedsville is on the attacking side here. That's not really good for news for Reedsville. There is a pause in the game, I guess, because somebody left in the middle here, but two ultimates online for Reedsville here, including the Ashe Bob along with Valkyrie. Their ultimates online still for Currents as well, so that probably will be a scrappy fight whenever that last person comes back. But the big thing is, with that person gone, that ultimate percentage gone as well, so advantage no longer there for whoever the support was that just left for Currents. That's really going to play a back foot role for what they want to do there, and it's going to be very, very good for Reedsville if they want to just keep pushing in without an ultimate to worry about, especially on a support side.
Well, Reedsville had to play a 45 on Lijiang Tower. It seems only fair. All right, it was just Murphy and their laws, just evening things out, leveling the playing field. So now Currents is sitting with 4, but they do have some time to get their 5th player back in the lobby and get back at full strength and do Midtown up right. We may be cutting over to Noble versus NC Virtual here momentarily, but we will keep you updated on that as soon as we learn anything.
Yeah, and so far, what I want to talk about here is that, and at least this is high school right now, right? You're seeing a couple of players that are shining out. We saw Jackbird. Obviously, she was one of the best players that we've seen so far, I would say, in this tournament, really, especially on that Iati can be absolutely devastating. Iati got nerfed, remember that, folks. Iati got nerfed a couple patch or two ago, and is still able to output that damage, able to get the headshots, able to find kills with the Captive Sun, and is able to build up an ultimate very quick every other fight. But that shows you the power of an Iati that can bring you to your team. Another teammate you want to watch out for, and I'm shouting out all the supports too because they've been doing a wonderful job. Turtle from Noble has been doing an excellent job. Again, that Tree of Life, I will say, is one of the best ultimates in this game right now on the support side. And you're going to see Turtle right now as we go back into this game of Noble versus NC Virtual. So Midtown is the name of the game here, and with Midtown at nighttime, you're going to see basically a similar setup to what they had earlier for NC Virtual, except the Ramatra instead, maybe to keep this Pharah in check, but that's not going to do you a lot unless you have that cooldown working for you, and that Pharah still not being kept in check unless you have the Bastion or the Sombra looking at her.
Yeah, I mean, your options are to avoid the Pharah or focus the Pharah. And you got to have a good, solid plan to do both. Clearly, NC Virtual did not here. I mean, it's tough on this approach. I have no idea. I can just hang out above the subway. Like, they have a lot of open sky to play around in the buildings to use as cover.
Yeah, and you can see the ultimate percentages right now for the DPS, right? Saturn and 35%, and this Sombra coming up at 25%, but for the DPS is a Noble Academy, all over 60% right now. So that shows you just the differential right now and how aggressive Hinkle can be. You got to run right up at Hinkle, but Hinkle's got a lot of escapes to go through, especially with the life grip. So this has got to be really NC Virtual just making their way on through, finding a foothold, and that's not going to help you out right there.
Well, and that's the only reason that Hinkle can play that far up is because of that life grip from Turda. Otherwise, that would be just an extraordinarily vulnerable position, especially with NC Virtual having a Lucio, which it looks like they are going to use now to try to get some speed in. Nano boost in, on just social. They're going to punch down 2, make it 3. Fall under the rapid fire fists coming out of Social's Ramatra. Now Hinkle finds himself on the back foot with a grab in their pocket and a difficult decision. Decide to hold on to it.
Yeah, and you see, when you get rid of Turda, that's a win con there for you because you don't let Turda build up to a Tree of Life, which they would have gotten in about 4 to 5 blossoms. So really, really well done from NC Virtual to just hit the go button, hit that nano boost, and now Social has an Annihilation to work with as well. Can even go up in the air for the Pharah if that hits. So you can keep the Pharah in check with that Annihilation if that happens, but 4 ultimates online, including a Graviton Surge. If this isn't countered whatsoever, they don't have a defensive ult except for the Sound Barrier, so that Sound Barrier can prove big, but the damage from the Pharah can be even bigger, and that counters the Sound Barrier. So this has to be big for Hinkle if they want to win this. Maybe even 1 or 2 players in it would be fine.
Oh yeah, 1 or 2 players in it would absolutely be fine if you can guarantee those 2 kills. Block up here, Nemesis form from Social, Annihilation in the pocket. Just go ahead and block that one out. They're going to immediately respond. No, they're going to go in back up behind and then wait for the top barrier from Hinkle. They're perhaps looking for a counter punch. Can't press too hard into I have no idea as well, knowing the threat of the far from above. There's the grab. There's the Annihilation. Keep him and everybody at bay. I have no idea falls. They're not able to hit the Q key. The barrage falls on deaf ears. Sound barrier as well as artillery strike to bail NC Virtual out of this difficult spot. A complete ult domino, as some streamers might call it, but one that sees NC Virtual emerging on top once the dust settles.
Yeah, and a great Graviton Surge to counteract the Annihilation. Your only problem is I have no idea, got caught out and isn't able to use the Rocket Barrage. I'm not too sure why you wouldn't use the Rocket Barrage as soon as you hit at least 3 there, especially trying to counteract that Sound Barrier. But now NC Virtual basically on the better foot here, not going to be able to use that Rocket Barrage. Again, Sombra gets the better of the Pharah. That's how you keep the Pharah in check. And now this Pharah has to use the Rocket Barrage coming up, and they now know NC Virtual now can counter that with the EMP of their own as well as this Nano Boost if they play this right.
I mean, the increased accuracy on Sombra's gun is actually no surprise. We got a little bit more. Here we go with the Nemesis form, but already down to sub 50 health. Comes in just in the nick of time, as well as a well-timed block from Social. And they're skirting this edge on the Ramatra. Talk about limit testing. Nano boost in the pocket, though, and they know it. They're confident enough to push by all the space Saturn needs to mow down the defense.
Yeah, they're going to get this point, gets 4 minutes on the clock, and I love what NC Virtual is doing, making sure this Pharah has no say in it whatsoever. Some are keeping the Pharah in check, which is very, very great news if you're NC Virtual right now. I have no idea has held on to this for 4 fights, maybe even a 5th, if that, because, I mean, really hasn't been in the fight whatsoever. Got to find a way to use this Rocket Barrage. Virtual is going to have a counter to it because, again, Marvel's Tokyo coming up with another Sound Barrier to counter that, and now this Rocket Barrage not going to hit at all. Except for maybe Marvel's Tokyo, I take that back.
Yeah, got the one player needed to. You don't have to kill all 5. You can kill that Lucio, who's just about 15% away from bait. Yeah, that's a fight win for you. Hinkle's just confident, just running in, just a strut, if you would, sauntering into the back line with a smile on their face and a Saturn in their pocket.
Yeah, the Rocket Barrage doesn't have to combo with anything as long as it finds you a kill. That's a great kill into Marvel's Tokyo. NC Virtual now coming up on 4 ultimates of their own along with their Artillery Barrage, but same thing with Noble Academy. Turtle and Detox have been able to find their ultimates. Turtle mainly has been able to find their ultimate pretty quickly, might I add, with a couple of Blossoms here, maybe 10. 5 to 10 Blossoms if they go full health. So really, Hinkle coming up with this Graviton Surge could very well be huge, at least 2 inside of this.
I'm not exactly sure what I meant by putting a Bastion in your pocket, but I kind of want one now. I want a pocket Bastion. Mana boost used. Social's going to throw in the Annihilation as well. Everybody from NC Virtual, aside from Saturn, hit their ultimate, and they are rewarded. They get a quick, clean team fight here for NC Virtual, and rounding their approach into the final corner.
Yeah, big thing there, though, is NC Virtual does not have a sound barrier anymore. So if they want to win this fight here, Noble Academy's got to go in this with a mindset of using this Graviton Surge to play out. You've got the Graviton Surge to play alongside of a Bob Tree of Life just to keep you up. So if they can use this Graviton Surge to their advantage, they know that there's no sound barrier to help them out.
Really like that overhead shot we're getting. That was really cool. Support's down low. Marvel's Tokyo needs to be careful as that Tree of Life has been thrown out, and Noble Academy want the space back, but Social did not get the memo. Still stays right in front, trying to hold down this space, but it's eventually Hinkle's beam and the gun from Detox is too much to handle. Still, lots of time left here for NC Virtual to find a way to crack open this 3rd point.
Yeah, I feel like Noble Academy is doing one of 2 things. Either they're holding out for a big play or NC Virtual, or basically holding out for what could be a final fight here, because NC Noble Academy right now is finding a way to put up their defense without using really all of their ultimates. They got a good sustain from that Turtle, so you assume that they're holding on to this for the final fight, which would be a smart thing, especially that Graviton Surge. That being said, NC Virtual still holding on to an EMP as well, and NC Virtual coming up on no ultimates other than that, so this EMP has to be big, especially with a minute 15. You cannot drag this on too long if you're going to try to win this right here, right now.
Needs to be quick. Nice and fast. There's a quick kill. That'll do. I have no idea. I have no idea where that came from. Now, positioning for an EMP manual hack onto Lifeweaver. Still yet to pull the trigger on the ultimate itself. Graviton Surge combined with a big Omnic Butler and Noble Academy. Do not hesitate. You have to be aggressive, NC Virtual, or Noble Academy will beat you to the punch.
Yeah, that Sombra had the EMP there, but that's pretty interesting. That's okay not to use it there. That's okay not to use the EMP. Like I said, it needed to be a quick fight because now they can regroup for the final fight territory. Yes, there's 38 seconds left to go on the clock, but this is where you want to regroup. This is where you want to kind of communicate with each other, breathe a little bit. You have a sound barrier, you have an EMP, you have almost every ultimate to work with. Noble Academy only has a Rocket Barrage. If Furter can build up to a Tree of Life, this has to be very quick as well, but this Rocket Barrage starts us off.
Building from the sound barrier will protect through the initial damage, and we're still at a 5v5. Annihilation out, and Turtle is getting hunted down. Hits the elevator, goes right up to the top, but there's nothing to bail out your Pharah or your Ash. No DPS left standing here for the defense. Hinkle's able to get a little work done in lieu of that. A lot of damage output, but not a lot of sustain. And down into the final seconds it goes. In fact, into overtime, but NC Virtual will put their 3rd point on the board.
Yeah, that's one of those fights where NC Virtual is glad that they got all of their ultimates that they needed on board. Nano Boost, Annihilation, and a couple of other ultimates as well. Big news for them, especially that Nano Boost to help you out alongside the Annihilation as well. Just make sure that Social can just punch down everybody. So big play by NC Virtual, able to complete the map with 0.0, and it's very well done too to pull out the ultimates first from Noble Academy. Again, it needed to be a quick fight. You didn't want to draw that out too long. NC Virtual knew that, and well done for them to regroup and get the rest of the team out. Marvel's Tokyo also coming up big with the sound barrier right as the Rocket Barrage came out, so that was a great counter for them. So now we go into Noble Academy's phase where there's no time left on the clock for NC Virtual, but Noble Academy, the way they put up a fence earlier was very good. For now, though, you've got to watch out for the Zarya. The big thing here is the Zarya. If I have no idea sticks on this Reaper, that Reaper's also going to be a backline, so it's going to be a Reaper backline versus a Sombra backline. Who gets the better of it? But the bigger thing here is that if this Zarya can pop off, this Zarya, if they rush them down and Detox can get a lot of dynamites in, expect Hinkle to pop off here in the early game.
Virtual. Need a bit of a good stop here if they want to send us to our 3rd and final map. Otherwise, they will fall to 1-1 in Noble Academy, moving up to an inching ever closer to that first round bye heading into the single Elam bracket tomorrow. A win here would solidify a spot for whichever team will take it into that bracket. Guarantee and, well, hopeful, a very bright future. Noble Academy. And out here, they are going to stick with this Reaper. I have no idea. Just running alongside Hinkle's at the moment. Dr. Al puts in a quick manual hack, but backs up behind their team. Doesn't want to overextend here with this new Somber. You can't get as disconnected as you might have been used to previously.
Yeah, you have to play a little bit more with the team with the Sombra, but knowing that, they now know that they have a little bit better of positioning that they can take. They know that everybody's underneath the subway, so what the Sombra's going to do is just go up and over, see if they can get a backline hack for right now, because it doesn't look like they're putting a lot of pressure, especially with the Zarya combination. And for right now, when they get that hack on the Detox, oh boy, it's bad news.
Yeah, Detox already out of there. That virus rearing its ugly head. The damage output is a little bit different, but if you can focus it, I mean, she can definitely spit out some very high DPS, especially with the reworked accuracy on that machine pistol, combined with the damage of the virus, the manual hack. It can be quite nasty, particularly for Detox, who's kind of sitting still and firing shots downrange.
Yeah, the Sombra rework is interesting. In fact, when you have that machine pistol going from 7.5 to 8 per bullet on the damage there, and that minimum spread reduced as well, that's very, very dangerous if you run into a hack, or if you get hacked as well as hit by a virus.
Oh, it's a nail gun. It is so accurate. Yeah, it's ridiculously
so
pinpoint.
good right now with that hit accuracy, and all that damage that's brought to you is really, really good news if you're on the team of the Sombra. So right now, NC Virtual coming up, but now with that Sombra gun gone, hey, that's go button for you. That means that you've got no worries about a backline pick.
Dr. Al falls early, and now Hinkle wants to melt down the Lucio. The sound barrier comes out during the reload on that to stave off losing the sound barrier, but is it going to be enough? NC Virtual's shielding will fade as the radio turns off, and here comes the Graviton. Louder than could be, cacophonous, but it's a great bio nade. Ulysses manages to keep the entire team alive through that massive grab, and I have no idea has had enough of it. Punishes them for their great auto play. And eventually with the death, no idea who will kill everyone. That's 5 kills for I have no idea.
Okay, I was about to say, if Hinkle with a 4-man grab does not get the follow-up damage, does not get any help on this, and NC Virtual is able to win that fight, I might have few words to say about what Noble did, but instead, I have no idea. Coming out with the Reaper, able to use that Death Blossom to the full advantage when NC Virtual doesn't have any defensive ults left, doesn't have any healing left to go. They use that Death Blossom to their advantage, so they get the fire truck with just under 4 minutes to go here, but here's where it becomes a little bit tricky, because now you have the EMP almost available for Dr. Al on the Sombra, as well as a nano boost. If you put that nano boost on a Sombra, and a very accurate Sombra at that, boy, watch out, because that can shred your backline pretty easily. And also a Kitsune Rush available for Skarmo can counter that out, but it's got to be quick here use from Noble Academy if they want to win this.
Okay, I have no idea. It just gets punched down. Social's going to get that nano boost and move forward right on Hinkle. Hinkle is just run in, turn tail, and go. Middle hack in there as well. Oh, Noble Academy somehow get around that corner, but they're looking pretty beat up on the back of it.
Yeah, looking pretty beat up right now. EMP still available to NC Virtual, but big thing is to support Ultimate's Tree of Life as well as Kitsune Rush. They use this in perfect order. Noble Academy can find themselves a push here coming up.
Rush will allow for a lot more bubbles here, but Scary Move died late in that fight. I think they're still waiting for the Curie. Probably back by this point, but certainly when they're in the middle. Graviton Surge now available as well, but the Sombra has found I have no idea in the back. So we'll see. Hinkle now fighting out a 4v5 with the Sombra hacking him and causing a lot of problems, forcing out both bubbles. Want to turn their attention forward. The Graviton Surge is down onto Social. Sound barrier is there once again. Marvel's Tokyo is perfect with these sound barriers, and Hinkle and the rest of Noble Academy can't get anything out of another big grab.
Yeah, another big grab for Hinkle. I mean, I have no idea. Doesn't have a Death Blossom to save you this time, and all NC Virtual needs to do is use the Artillery Strike to stave off any damage, and Marvel's Tokyo also using the Samurai to keep themselves alive. I do not know what Noble Academy was waiting for there. You need to be aggressive into it, especially a Ramatra like this that's going to play aggressive at you. It needs to be aggressive versus aggressive here, and now NC Virtual coming up on 3 ultimates of their own. The Nanolation is what I like to call this Social Ulysses combination that's going to happen here, and with no defensive ultimates except for a Tree of Life. If that Tree of Life goes down early on, just wait for this Annihilation to come.
Good name. It's a good name. Dr. Elstrange way ahead of the rest of their team. What were you doing up there? There was nobody within range. No way your healers could see you. And now the Kitsune rush, it's a massive disadvantage. But guess what? I have no idea. Also overextends a bit. So it's a 4v3 favoring Noble. Annihilation out from NC Virtual. Have the Nano. There it is. Okay, I was about to say, I'm surprised I didn't see that a moment sooner. The Tree of Life, not going to be enough healing output to completely negate all of this. It's strong, but it's not that strong.
Yeah, the Tree of Life was just placed way too slowly. You needed to place that even quicker because you know you had a chance in there. And now you have the Death Blossom coming out. That's big!
Yeah, that was some ambitious positioning out of Marvel and Dr. L. Ulysses as well. It was one Death Blossom gets both of your supports around that corner. You did not need to be that close to the corner. Let your tank hold that space and shield all that damage. Now I have no idea. Just run through everybody.
It's not bad, though. You forced them to use an ultimate, and they were so far back that they're going to get another fight here anyway, so it's not a complete loss for NC Virtual, but now they've got a chance to put up the door here on the first point. They still have the EMP ready to go. That EMP is going to be big, and no support ultimates to deal with that. So really, this EMP can be thrown out, and it's going to happen right now.
Oh, trying to get a Vandal hack, but Hank's able to bubble up, decides to settle for the Life Weaver. Turner drops down below cover. Meanwhile, in the front line, Saturn falls. Down barrier out, try to win out the 4v5 here from NC Virtual. EMP invested as well. Nice dodge. I have no idea. Ducks around the corner into the bus stop. Detox, meanwhile, gets a pick. Here comes Hinkle in to finish off Dr. L. And this is just 2 players left. Ticks held the overtime at NC Virtual, Cat Point B.
Yeah, when I said right now, that needed to be used right now because Dr. L needs to know that that EMP is such a huge game changer, especially even with the rework too. You can get so much damage down, and Noble Academy had nothing to counteract that. No Kitsune Rush, no Tree of Life. So when NC Virtual doesn't get a pick and Noble Academy is the first one to get a pick, that EMP is going to go for nothing. So that just showed with what happened here. So now they've got a minute left to go. A lot of time wasted. If this goes all the way to 0, they're able to complete the map. We're headed to a second round with only 1 minute on either side. But Social coming up in an annihilation here, and Hinkle still having this Graviton Surge. I think they're holding on to it for a little too long. If you want to win the fight, maybe they're just waiting for the time to waste away. But that Graviton Surge is going to be huge for this coming up.
Both teams guaranteed an attack, assuming that Noble is able to push this cart all the way in. That Graviton Surge is going to fly 3. Good name, but it's early. Health bars are low, and Turner's there to finish him off. Hinkle's maybe sleeping on the job, and the Death Blossom's a touch late, but you know what? It still works out in the end. Noble finds the first fight they need. Just one more to send us to those extra innings.
Oh, does Saturn get out? Saturn does get out. That's huge for them. That allows them to regroup into the final fight here, and now the artillery strike can come out. They get rid of them, but how big can they stall this out here?
Yeah, got out enough to hit the kill, but die immediately thereafter. Annihilation is there. Trio alive, and Suzu trying to keep Hinkle's alive, but Scaramouche gets punched down through Hinkle. Hinkle staying up through this. All the fires there. I have no idea. Eventually able to bring it down. What a trio life. Turna has got their teams back in the best possible way. And we are headed to more Midtown.
We get another round of Midtown. 1 minute on either side. Big plays from them. But again, I feel like Dr. Al could have ended that with that EMP earlier on. I don't know why the hold there. You could have just used it. It could have gotten rid of it. A lot of shields, a lot of chances for NC Virtual to win that fight back on the first point, and that just snowballs in to what would be a very good fight. But again, in the middle here, we're going to switch on over to Reedsville and Kearns, who are playing in the final map, what should be very well the final map now of New Queen Street, I should say. So we've got a 1-1 game, and for one of the first times, I think, this weekend, we're going to see a May here from Doge, and that's really one of the reasons why it's meta so far. I mean, the May's been a meta with a little bit of a change to her, but still, Reedsville coming up on 4 ultimates, including a Graviton Surge, and with the Riptire, and no defensive ults for Kearns except for an Immortality Field. That could very well be huge for them.
48.24 is exactly at the checkpoint, if memory serves. Oh, no, it's actually before. So they'll get the lead before they get the checkpoint, which means this bot will not stop. There it is. Reedsville has crossed that line and now have control here as we approach the halfway mark of this map. Doge comes up with a pair of kills. Not sure where the rest of that team was in relation to that May, but very much off screen, and it's very much enough to force Quirky Turtle to run away.
Yeah, forces the runaway for right now, and you've got the CW coming up with a self-destruct as well as Vogue on the nano boost. Biggest thing here would be a nano boosted Diva, maybe, because the CW can create a lot of space, and especially, but CW's out of mech, which means Reedsville's going to have a little bit more of an advantage here, but the robot's still pushing in favor of Kearns. Oh, and yep, there's an eat.
Yeah, that's a pretty big eat. Tire on the other side, though. You can't eat the tire. You can gobble up that sun all you want, but Cork and Turtle's still going to come through and get 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lead still to Reedsville. They'll try to get up here in just a couple of moments as well to make sure that they can extend their lead and get the checkpoint. But I don't know if Kearns is going to let them have this. They're going to try to push up where they are, and that robot was pushed far enough that they could contest here. But a Blizzard trying to counter this as well as a Nano Boost. They probably will let them have this checkpoint here for free, and yes, they will. So you have the Bob available to you, but that Blizzard is going to be super, super important with Reedsville not having a single defensive ult.
I mean, Reedsville doesn't even have to fight this. Reedsville could completely disengage. They decide to go on in. Once they got the closer spawns, there was no reason to push around the corner. It's such a dangerous proposition walking into that enemy LOS. But they attempted it. It did not work out for Reedsville, though, once again, with that checkpoint on their side, they still have the advantage of the map. Look at some couple late kills, too, here. Wait, what? What? I mean, it's just 2 of them. It's Quirky Turtle and the Reinhardt. Laser Turtle gets taken down. Both of the remaining turtles find a pair of kills, and this is completely going against what I expected to happen in this fight. Eventually, Kearns manages to get out of there. There's still a bit of a 1v1 happening as Magic...
Yeah, and now Kearns is going to turn this around. They have the amplification matrix to work with, and an amplification matrix along with a Junkrat. If that Junkrat bombs kind of hit you, you are going to feel it not only in the morning, but for the rest of the week, because that will do some big damage to you. And now you're going to have a self-destruct as well to pair up that. There's a lot of zoning ults that can happen right here, but Reedsville might get the better of it to start.
Yeah, Cancer goes down, 2% away. They're going to throw self-destruct here at the very end.
Oh?
CW manages to pick up one with that, but it's just them trying to back away. Oh, I was hoping to get a cheeky kill with the remake, but not going to happen. The dash into the shatter, and Volk finds himself way just decimated. Never even had a chance to blink. Never saw it coming.
I know, that's just rude. That's just rude. I mean, just to go for the Ana there, just to slide away from the Diva and just to go right for the Ana, the Earth Shatter, making sure that there's no heals. It's going to be 4 checkpoint again for Reedsville. Kind of felt a little bit rude, but Kearns now on the back foot, now has the App Matrix. This has got to come up big, especially now you have the Junkrat here kind of flanking a little bit, maybe.
Well, rude. I call it a smart shatter. Quirky Turtle falls on the approach, but trades themselves for the opposition Junkrat. But the problem for Reedsville is they've lost their Moira. So backing away, Shaken Turtle was hunting for something to do, but there was just no good options.
Yeah, Kearns has to come up big, though, now that you don't have, or you're 25% away from an Nano Boost. Doge has to come up big with this Blizzard, and especially with Magic Turtle having this Captive Sun, this needs to come up big. Doge falling, though, means no Blizzard, but you do get Clever Turtle in return. It's a DPS for a DPS. Kearns has to try to take advantage of this now that the spawn is back in midfield.
Reedsville making a swap. Jacob's gone over to a Zarya here.
No, you can't get over.
Just try to order, some poutine. Need a little min-mat snack. CW eats a bullet to the dome by Magic. There's a jump up into the window. Magic loses him just long enough. Or should I say Zombie Boy shook him just long enough to make it to the other window and Clever Turtle to pick him out of the jump. So Zombie Boy's escape eventually cut short. Hamster finds himself surrounded.
Well, right now, as
Captain Sun, available, ready to go here for Magic.
Sorry about that. Doge still has that Blizzard available. What a shot from Magic Turtle from downstairs onto Volk, though. Oh, my God.
Yeah, from the low ground. Blizzard out from Doge. Try to turn this thing around. Immortality Field was used early as well, but Kearns Academy just don't have any room to work with. CW is going to go ahead and make a swap over to the Winston here to try to protect in this final stretch.
Yeah, and so right now, final stretch, that Blizzard goes for nothing here, and now Reedsville can complete the map with 44 seconds. They could disengage if they really wanted to regroup, because I know they lost somebody, but you have 3 ultimates on the board. This Graviton Surge plus the Riptire can be very huge, and especially when you get picks like that, but Lazy Turtle going down could very well turn the tides, but 40 meters is going to be a big difference if they want to keep playing on this.
Yeah, that is a monstrous undertaking to try to make up, 40-plus meters. Oh, alt fire on the Clever Turtle, about 1 health. Didn't want to jump in. Just had to let Doge have it. All right, it's very generous of you, CW. Oh, there's a Junkrat in your back line. That could be problematic.
Yeah, what's also problematic as well is that they've lost out one of their players from Kearns, so this is going to have to be a regroup because spawns are still in favor of Reedsville, not in favor of Kearns. They have to push this up. They have to play into them. But now, yeah, I mean, you get rid of Lazy Turtle, which is big for you, so now this Riptire kind of has to be big. No Immortality Field at all, and yeah, Magic Turtle's gone.
Yeah, Kurtz does not have the option of getting off this point. It is do or die, quite literally, here in this match. And it's a 2-for-2 trade. Ant Matrix from behind as Kurtz Academy is looking to surround her on this point. CW goes down. The bomb is huge. Bomb gets behind the window. And Clever Turtle is there to clinch this. Here for Reedsville. They come back and take map 3 and take our series.
Yeah, the Bob coming in there at the end, absolutely huge. It's always nice to have that extra body with you. And when you mean the extra body, it doesn't mean a duplication from an Echo. It means when you have the Bob out, it wins you the game. Ultimately here and the 6 minutes left to go, shots being hit. Oh, Clever Turtle's aim is so good here, just hitting every single shot possible. Even when they're jiggle peeking, it's wow, Clever Turtle's just hitting every shot, getting that Bob in that one play. But my oh my, what a game overall there into New Queen Street. That tall order that they had to do with 40 meters, just too tall. And again, you love to see at the end, or I mean, Doge, you would have loved to see maybe use that Blizzard, because it was that close where if you use the Blizzard and it turned out well, you have a chance to take the lead. You have a chance to really pull out here. What I'm seeing from a lot of these teams right now, they're holding on to the ultimates a little too long where they could have won a fight. So that's got to be something that might be in the heads of the coaches when we go back to the next match here. But the next match coming up, we're being told that the series is going 1-1. So we're going to see New Queen Street again, just with the two teams that we saw earlier on. So I guess the 1 minute overtime sends us to a 1-1 series here coming up on New Queen Street.
Yeah, NC Virtual Academy take that Midtown that we saw go into extra innings. Didn't get to see the result, but we know where it landed us, and that's, well, right back into the snowy streets of Toronto. So, you know, same second verse, same as the first.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto is always a good push map. This is one of the ones I think a lot of teams in order would like to say that Coliseo is probably one of the better maps, and then New Queen Street would probably be second. Not a lot of people like Esperanza, but I mean, I love the aesthetics of Esperanza, though. I do love that part about the map.
My experience has been the exact opposite. Really? Esperanza is everybody's favorite map, and Coliseo is everybody's most hated.
I see a lot of people tending to either love or hate Esperanza. It's like either one of the scale. It'll never be neutral, but I feel like New Queen Street is one of those where it could go either way. You either love or hate it here. But when you go into this next map, you're going to see a lot more probably of the Zarya combination as well as the Pharah, and that's exactly what's going to be pulled out of Noble Academy side. This Pharah gets a little more open air as well as the Zarya Midtown. You did get that open air, but coming towards Grand Central Station doesn't really provide a lot of value, especially when anybody can hit you in the air inside of that train station. Now you got a lot more openness. This Pharah can come back and make sure that they can do something. But against what Dr. Al has been doing in the Somber, keeping that Pharah in check, that may be proving a little more difficult, especially on a map like this, but we'll see if it works out. And still, you've got, I believe this might be a swap in, but you have a Reaper now for Robo Jesus instead. I don't remember Robo Jesus being in the game. I could be wrong here, but the swap on over the Reaper could very well counter out this Zarya. But Detox on the Mei for the first time here, and that Mei can very well stay in the meta, because that Mei is just going to be also important trying to slow down this Ramatra.
Yeah, they made a lot of points there. Robo Jesus did sub in for Saturn, who was playing the Bastion before.
Yes, that's
correct on that substitution there. So heralding back to that point. But yeah, the Raw versus the Zarya, it's Dr. Al's Sombra. You know, it's kind of been the question on, is the new Sombra actually good? Dr. Al's been finding a ton of value, gets first blood here on New Queen Street. Matters gets first too, and that's going to get NC Virtual with some, you know, a little bit of a positioning here and start things off.
Yeah, this is big plays from NC Virtual. You have the Ramatra just punching down the front line, and then you have the Sombra in your back line as well, making sure that they have no fun whatsoever with the new Sombra changes. Can just get away, can just throw Translocator and just can run away. But now that Dr. Al is gone, yes, you go DPS for DPS, but in a case like this, Noble Academy's got a better foothold here to try to take this back.
Yeah, I mean, the high ground is going to be very difficult to take, but Noble Academy have to decide, when do they want to drop? When are they going to try to approach? Detox is too far away from a Blizzard. Can't rely on that to initiate this fight. It has to be on Hinkle, which means they have to have charge. Otherwise, they're just going to get melted. Yeah. Ooh, or just a pick from your back line. Not get there in time. So, yeah, Noble Academy will win the fight, but it's all for...
Yeah, I mean, this conference Virtual relies on speed, but what if that speed kind of just goes away, right? What if that speed no longer is a thing because the speed is horizontal, not vertical? So what Noble Academy was waiting for is a kill just like the one you saw from Scaramoo to get that Lucio to make sure they have no speed, and no AoE healing means they can just drop right in, get those picks, and now Noble Academy on the better foot here, because now they don't, I mean, they may have the speed, but from Detox, they're just going to slow down the Ramatra.
Didn't slow Social down a whole lot, unfortunately. At least not enough to protect the tape. Social Robo Jesus combined up front. I mean, a Ramattra with a Reaper and then a Lucio speeding the whole bunch in. That's just a nasty little trio.
Oh yeah, speeds them up, and that's the comp here in a nutshell. The sound barrier gave them a lot of life, and now they're going to push this up for even more meters here. But you've got an EMP coming up, a Nano Boost coming up as well, and a Death Blossom for Noble Academy. Got to be pretty big here, because if you can find out that they have no defensive ult, oh boy, this Summer's in so much trouble. No more defensive ults either. This artillery strike can go big.
Dr. Al just barely making it out of there alive. Graviton Surge is going to find Robo Jesus. I believe Marvel's Tokyo was also caught in that, given by the assist in our feed. Little finish off from Hinkles and the Zarya striking back in a strong way here in that fight. Finally, Noble Academy trying to get some position here, but they got to get to the center. They haven't even stopped close spawns yet.
Yeah, 78 meters being the difference here, and this is a tall task. That's at least 3 fights you have to win, considering where they are right now and considering where the spawn rooms are coming out from NC Virtual, who have 3 ultimates of their own to throw out. Nova Academy winning that fight with only 2 ultimates. They're going to have 3 of their own. The big key here, though, Tree of Life. I will keep saying it. Tree of Life is the big key for Noble Academy winning this. If they can sustain past what NC Virtual is giving them, that Tree of Life is going to win them this fight.
Got his position just right. Social going in, just pops the Nemesis immediately, just wasting no time. Did not skip a beat, went full sprint towards the back line to find the Bastion, find Scaramou. And wow, the speed out of NC Virtual. I love how decisive they are. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a Blizzard out here from Detox, but there's no one else here.
Looks
we
like
did get a call for a pause here, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is a call for the pause. Okay, there it is. So something might have happened here. I think it might have been called on Noble's side, I believe. But regardless, still, I mean, you look at NC Virtual's side, and I don't want to call it this, but it's a free timeout in the middle of the match, basically. But still, either way, you've got a good positioning here from, I believe it was NC Virtual. NC Virtual, yes, it was, on the red side, that was doing quite a good amount of work there, especially with the frontline speed that you've got with that Lucio Ramattra combination, as well as the Reaper that can basically decimate your frontline. And then you cannot turn your backs either, because if you turn around, you're going to have a Sombra in your backline too. So really, really well done from this team composition. Now, the biggest thing for a 78-meter hold is for a 78-meter comeback here for Noble. Keep calm. Do not let that affect you right now, because that's going to be big in trying to get this all back. You had a shot at it. You had the Blizzard, though. You might want to swap off, because that Blizzard was basically wasted, honestly. You had the Blizzard out, which froze 3, but you didn't find a single pick because you were dead with it. So that Blizzard finds no value. You might want to switch off to something that gives you a little more escapability other than the Cryo Freeze, give you something more of maybe a sight line here, because New Queen Street does play a little bit long, and you have that verticality when it comes to that second checkpoint. So maybe a Sojourn, maybe a Soldier, and I'll never get used to trying to say both and which one is which, but Sojourn, Soldier, high ground priority there. So this is going to look a little rough for a 78-point comeback.
Yeah, with that pause, we're going to let them get figured out. We're going to punch in here to Chatham early versus Kearns. We just saw Kearns drop their first game of the group stage. Moving on, see if they can pull it back here against Chatham.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 1-1 here, and we're on control here. I don't know if that 1-1 is correct or not, but anyways, no, it should be 0-0 is what we're saying. So yeah, I mean, that would be the suspicion, as control is our first map here. Kearns Academy coming out with a very nice combination, though, as they're going to find kills, and you'd like to keep the Echo in check, especially with that Soldier. That means that Doge doesn't need to really pay attention to what the Skies are bringing here. That's going to allow Kearns Camster to just free reign on the Echo. The Genji, though, might be the biggest problem for this team, although this Genji's already at 34%, and already, again, we have another disconnect.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be very difficult for Fireball. Let's look at the top right of your screen here, friends. You've got a Diva, very good against a Flyer. You've got Soldier and Bastion, really good against Flyers. You've got a Yari and Baptiste. Guess what? They got hit scan. They're real good against Flyers too. All 5 heroes on Kern's side was designed to pick that Echo out of the sky. Like, that was not going to be a good time.
Yeah, even not even an Echo, just a Far, any Flyers in general, even a Diva could very well.
Right.
Just
Well, I
go
mean, there's
down
an
with
Echo
the
that was
mobility.
that we saw on the battlefield.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then the Genji too. Yes, the Genji can only do so much, but the deflect is only up for about 8 seconds. It has an 8-second cooldown, folks. You're not gonna get a lot out of it, especially if Canster and the rest of the team is just gonna hunt down this Echo. So you can't protect that Echo in any way with which way in form. So now we do have that pause, but in the middle of it, you would like to think that they could switch off of that composition on the Echo. Don't focus so much on the Echo. Focus on the ground game. Focus on a shred composition that's going to allow you to break down that composition. But now we're going to go into another game here, which I believe we're being told is JP Knapp versus Southwest Edgecombe. Southwest being on your right side of your screen in the red. And this is one of our favorite players. Jackbird comes out on the side on the left.
Yeah, Jackbird has definitely had one of the best performances of the entire tournament early in the day against Newburn. Is again here on the Ayari. It's our first time seeing Chatham on stream, so I'm excited to see what they have for us. We're getting the names and all that fixed up top. Got JP Cap on the Chatham on the right, and 0-0 here on Lijiang Towers. We have just started this one. Kajuka Buka, that's a lot of syllables. That trips me up every time. And they trip Chicken Man up and able to get that kill on the back of a great accretion coming out of Cosmito, who Sigma has also looked outstanding all day.
Honestly, just think of it like Banjo and Kazooie, just backwards, right? Like, just Kazooie Banjo, right? And it's Kajuka Bazooka, or whatever. Now I'm getting tongue twisted, too. So. Shoot. Okay,
That's
well,
not as easy as it looks, huh?
Not
as easy as it looks.
Okay, my bad. I'll break off that. But anyways, Edgecombe coming out with a few ultimates of their own, but coming down already and had a rocket barrage, which means this is JP Knapp's goal button, and you're going to have a Deadeye to work with as well, and a Coalescence, and that outburst big, just to stave away some damage for right now.
Yeah, it looks like Southwest Edgecombe just going to go back out of here. I mean, without the barrage, you could have used the Annihilation to try to initiate in the 4v5, but I like the patience and the wisdom to hold on to it.
Yeah, good wisdom to hold on to it for right now. But JP Knapp again, I mean, we were talking about this last map. Now the team is designed to take down the Pharah, and what happens when you just let the Cassidy and the Soldier run free? You get that happening to you.
It's twice in a row. Kajuka has been able to just dot Common, not sure how to pronounce that, forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. Down barrier now out, they're going to use that to try to initiate. Still, Southwest Edgecombe not able to get any position across this bridge. Eventually, the barrage does come out, and that's one. It's exactly what they needed. But that Phlox has got 3 in it. Well, make it 2 after the life grip. Creation Rock hits the side of the wall, and somehow Taco stays on their feet and still holding on to their ultimate.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I mean, that Cosmito Gravitic Flux was more or less just kind of desperation to see if they can find picks of anything, because that was a big Gravitic Flux, but they didn't have the damage to follow up, especially with no defensive ultimates coming up from SW Edgecombe. You really had nothing to do, and Corey, I should say, didn't have the Tree of Life as well, didn't use it, so really big opportunity just wasted away. But JP Knapp now having that Captive Sun, Tree of Life can counter that, and now you're going to have the Annihilation at the same time. Coalescence is going to have to come up big.
That's the Trio of Life using a 5v4 situation here at Edgecombe. Boop! Oh, Kajuka almost got booped out of their Deadeye. Managed to keep their toes just narrowly on solid ground. But Taco still holding down the bridge. You got to pay the Taco toll if you want to get across this bridge. And so far, JP Knapp do not have what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, Taco playing this Ramattra right now, basically looking like a wall at this point, just nothing doing for JP Knapp, and JP Knapp now no ultimates besides a Coalescence, gonna have an Annihilation, gonna have a Sound Barrier to work with for SW Edgecombe. So right now, Edgecombe's got the edge, I guess you could say, on this game so far, but really this is gonna come down to the Annihilation. If this Annihilation finds one, it's pretty much over.
That's Big Man Elbow is the one to fall. That was before the Annihilation has even popped. Sound Barrier now out, and well, it's Taco Tuesday, ready to go here. Annihilation is in, and nobody is going to survive those tendrils of death. That's Southwest Edgecombe take our first sub map.
Yeah, Taco, by the way, in Japanese, octopus. So Taco, by the way, and yeah, like I was saying, Taco in Japanese means octopus, and so probably the reason why they're playing Ramattra. Lots of arms to work with, those arms are showing out big, flexing the arm muscles really, because that Ramattra just proving to be oh so big to kind of get through. But now we're gonna go back to Virtual versus Noble here in the process. And 81 to 41 meters is the call for 5 minutes left to go. This is looking like a little bit more of a comebackable situation here, especially with, I believe it was Noble that was on the left side trying to fight their way on in, but now they're going to get the checkpoint out of this.
Yeah, this has been a heck of a fight back. It was Noble were way behind in this one, and have somehow managed to come back. Now they've got the checkpoint, and they're getting past the stall out of this cart. Able to get this going.
They can, and they have the ultimates to do so as well. Tree of Life coming in as well, and you're going to have the Doctor out. Big one here is going to be the EMP, though.
Dropping down from above, NC Virtual just laying right on their heads with a sound barrier and an annihilation. Nico's trying to run back. There's a Tree of Life to try to keep the Zarya alive, but it's not good enough for the Kiriko. Nico will finally end the annihilation in that Japanese monster. I guess Japanese octopus, so to speak. Robo Jesus falls as this fight has devolved into just chaos. On the back, it looks like a 3v2 favoring Virtual, and they have a couple of ults to work with if they want to try to close this out. Oh, what a sleep. The manual hack to back it up. And Eagles are able to get those bubbles up. It doesn't want to go anywhere. They have 100 charge, and they have the lead within their sights. Eagles does not want to let this go, but they have to back away. Otherwise, the entire map could slip through their fingers.
Yeah, 3 minutes left to go. There's still some time left to go, even if you lose this fight. I'm surprised they're still staying in this, and yeah, they might even win this, considering they get rid of a big chunk of the Reaper.
Somehow, I mean, kind of failed to focus down the Zarya. They had an opportunity there, and I think got a little distracted because another player showed up, and Hinkle sticks around. Look at this! Noble is going to steal this lead out if they can keep this up. They're so close to taking this lead, and Detox pops Ulysses in the head. Reaper fading around to the outside with almost no health. Doesn't manage to get the mini, but back up front. Hinkles continues to just march on through.
Wow. Noble takes the lead. I am surprised at this. NC Virtual had everything going for them, and now Noble Academy is the one on the front foot. NC Virtual now having to make up a lot of meters and only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. They have to win this fight here. They've got 3 ultimates to do it again. Dr. Al holding on to this, not a good thing.
The whole first half of this map was all NC Virtual. This was 81-0. And Noble Academy have brought it all the way back. Nava and Sune rush to help close it out, but they're going to have to do it without their Bastion. Both support ults invested from NC Virtual, and they're able to stack a couple of kills on the back of it. This map is not done.
Yeah, you're lucky you had a sound barrier plus a nano boost, because otherwise that was going to look the other way and go for Noble Academy. Noble Academy, though, doing the right thing. If they're going to die with the rest of their team and make sure that they can regroup here. They're going to have the forward spawn, so well done from them. I mean, like I said, you're going to have the forward spawns if you die altogether, and now you can play for this. No ultimates coming online except for Bob from Detox, and if Bob can make the biggest difference here, no defensive ult for NC Virtual.
I mean, they have a 2-player advantage. They don't need any support ults to win this fight. They don't need any ults at all. Robert Jesus and Social fall at the end. What is up with these, like, 5v2, and then suddenly you just lose 2 on the back of it? Stop getting sloppy at the end of the fights, y'all.
Welcome to high school, I should say. Like they're getting into it still. You know, they're getting into the team fights and all. And yeah, I mean, they still might be able to do it because now spawn room's in favor of Noble at where they're at, and they're going to be able to find a kill on Ana, which means now the Sombra just has to try to dive away, and really it's just a back away game for NC Virtual, which means Noble keeps the lead.
A little double bounce grenade chasing Marvel's Tokyo down the stairwell. That just looked amazing. A little homing grenade. That does major damage too. And NC Virtual, after losing Dr. L and the EMP that they're holding, are now trying to search some solid footing, but Detox gets caught out in the mega room by themselves. While Noble Academy are strafing back and forth, deciding how they want to approach this. They look a little frozen in indecision as they move around looking for it. And then here comes Robo Jesus 200 over the top with a 3-player Death Blossom. And NC Virtual now in a position to steal this lead away once again.
Yeah, Tree of Life
steal it
doesn't
back at least.
Yeah, Tree of Life doesn't go for anything, so a big play there. Only problem, NC Virtual needing to use 3 ultimates. So now, when you come up with this Bob, when you come up with this artillery strike, no defensive ults to come here.
For Muse, artillery strike. I heard it, didn't see where it landed, but apparently it was good enough to combine to get a kill on the Marvel's Tokyo. But with both those DPS ults expended, can NC Virtual respond? Final fight on this point will determine the series once again. We're going to get a trade early, favoring Noble Academy as they've got closer spawns, and they have 2 supports still left on their side, which means Eagles can go in fearlessly, all guns pointed at the Ramatra. Noble Academy bring this back from insurmountable odds, an unreal comeback on push. And Noble Academy will take away the series, moving up to 2-0, guaranteeing a spot spot in our playoffs.
Wow, Noble Academy comes out here swinging, and right at the end, though, like, you had that big lead. NC Virtual just missing an opportunity to take this one back. But again, the biggest thing for me was Dr. Al holding on to this EMP for the longest time. I don't know what the Somber's looking for. The Somber can build up an ultimate pretty quickly the way they were playing earlier on, so that EMP could very well have gotten you over the ledge there to try and stop what Noble Academy was given. Unfortunately, that EMP doesn't come out, and Noble Academy just wins right on into that EMP. Again, with the Somber rework, the EMP is still big, folks. The EMP can still help your team out no matter what the situation is, as long as you're finding at least one or two on that hack from the EMP plus the damage follow-up. So really, that EMP just not coming out was not the way that Noble was going, that NC Virtual was going to win. That Noble coming all the way back, well deserved there, especially with all of the healing, all of the damage that was coming out. And you could see it, right? You and I were very surprised at that one fight where it was basically what, a 2v3 with the Zarya and one healer, but basically one out at the end of that checkpoint that gave them eventually the lead. So I mean,
it was a Zarya and an Ashe. There wasn't even a support there.
It wasn't even a support. You're right, actually. And then the support has had to come back right afterwards. But either way, still
the
Zarya
support came back later. But yeah, somehow Hinkle lives through. I mean, like that shouldn't happen. Just incredible play out of Hinkle. Frankly, I mean, just on the Zarya, great use of the bubble to stay alive through some very impossible situations. But you know what? I mean, we're getting into the final hour of our final day of group stage here for. We're getting into the nitty gritty.
Oh, I think Bullskunk may have frozen out here. Maybe the internet goes a little while. But meanwhile, unless he can hear me, we're going to take a short break. To our producer, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more Overwatch action on the other side. We'll be right back.
All right, we appreciate your patience through that break. We are wasting no time. We are getting right into some action here. We've got Newburn versus Newburn here. Clutch, the C team, taking on the B team. And, well, right now, it looks like the C team is the one on top. I say that. Actually, this is the A team roster here with Oki, Gex, and Vicious. This is their A squad.
Yeah, this looks like their A squad right now. As we saw earlier on, the records for Newburn: 1-1, Newburn C 0-2, and very first round, not a single percentage point, and there could very well be a reason why on King's Row anything goes. This is what's considered Scrim's Row. You practice here and against two of your own squad members. I guess you could say this is a little bit of practice for both sides, but Newburn C really needing a win here, so they really need to put up a fence, especially with what they can do here, because if they lose this, they're most likely out of their group, and then Newburn A getting a win would most likely mean they're at least second unless somebody falls there that had a 2-0 record on their end, but a 2-1 record nonetheless would guarantee you in. 1-1 basically guaranteeing you in. So really for Newburn C, this is a must-do, a must-win here, a must-draw, I guess you could say, because Newburn C didn't get a single percent. So now you look at the compositions from Newburn A. This one's meant to go quickly on the attacking side if they keep that Tracer. Tracer really haven't seen as of lately, but still a very good character if you're able to get on the backline pick. Newburn C opting though with anime rules on that Symmetra to try to keep any backline pickers in check. Kind of like what Newburn C is putting up, but again, Newburn A, the reason why they've got to win is probably because of their composition and their teamwork so far.
I have yet to see a report on your latest experiment.
Talking earlier, we hadn't seen much Wrecking Ball. Newburn's threatening it. Still 15 seconds to change their mind on that.
I don't think
defense is going to be a Doomfist-based composition. You're with the Sombra. So an interesting combination there. I'm curious to see how Anime Rules wants to use the teleports here from the Symmetra. Is it just used for themselves, or do you try to protect your backline? Could be get creative with those in this composition.
We were talking about how they might not. They're showing up with the. They're showing up with the Wrecking Ball. They are going to keep the Wrecking Ball in, and that's already found the kill into Anime Rules, which means all systems go here, especially for a quick team like Newburn A right now.
Well, it also means that Anime Rules did not use that teleporter for either. Nobody escaped. Nobody could get away from the wrath of Script and the very evil, the most evil of them all, the Wrecking Ball.
There's a
hey, those are some extra turrets. Oh, careful.
Looks like they've got the point here, though, from the looks of it. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to touch in the meanwhile. They just need to... Yep, there it is. Just 1 foot on it, guys. That's all you need. And they get the win. And I'm assuming because we're on a hybrid, they may have gotten the series win as well from the looks of it.
So.
Yeah, I'm assuming because they are saying GG. Okay, guys, I know it's infighting here, but somebody put too easy in chat from Newburn A, and that's a little bit rude for your schoolmates.
Right, you're playing your own team. Come on now. All right. We are going to migrate over to our marquee matchup of the night. This one is Pine Forest, your undefeated 2-0 squad, taking on Reedsville here for our final match.
Yeah, we've seen both of these teams so far, but the big thing here for this matchup is that you're going to have the Orisa in some sort of a meta comp, if you will. Actually, Junkrat's been one of the more popular pick as well. If that's more of an off meta pick, but it's still one of the picks that I've seen pretty popular lately because it still gives you that spam damage and really some escapability with that Moira as well. You can see that kill onto Baby Diva Soul. That's going to allow Reedsville to take some more percentage points. Pine Forest, on the other hand, does have that life weaver, so that you play around the heals there, around the Tree of Life. You're probably going to get a win, but Reedsville right now looking pretty strong, almost to a Terror Surge.
Eternal's going to find that kill. Takes out one of the supports. Further delay Pine Force from being able to take a clean engagement. Jaken is going to follow them in as the Turtle Squad have amounted 37% already and very close to a plethora of ultimates to boot. Pine Forest trying to find a way past this Junkrat, see if they can get in. It looks to be a teleport onto this far side. Rejoin Death Star, both DPS, or excuse me, Death Star was winning from the front. And the Reaper working off that flank angle. And it works out well for him with a little Kitsune rush. So that was the secret ingredient they needed here to try to push Reedsville back. Still a little bit of work to be done. The Moira and the Orisa still hanging around. And the Turtle, look, from Quirky gets the tire. It's a tire Turtle taking everybody down. There's some more alliteration to be found in there somewhere, but Reedsville just will not die.
Yeah, Reedsville just not dying at all, and the Orisa staying on point too is going to mean that this is still the fight being won here by Reedsville entirely, because now you've got Just the self-destruct popping on no Baby Diva anymore. And now it's 80%. You have ultimates on both sides, but the biggest one being this Terror Surge. If Shaken Turtle can stay alive, this Terror Surge is going to be big coming up in the final fight.
Teleport to the high ground. Tono with an ultimate of their own. Could be comboed. Well, I say that Soul's going to go ahead and swap off. There's really nothing to combo this with. So for maybe this tire coming out into the back. Nope, that forced out a cooldown. That might be enough, but the Terror Surge will do enough damage, and the follow-up is there. It didn't itself get any final blows, but it's enough to get the immortality field out. Puts health bars low, puts Pine Forest in a very difficult spot. And this is a 100-0 from Reedsville against the 2-0 Pine Forest.
Yeah, Pine Forest looking maybe a little bit lost here because Pine Forest, I mean, is a 2-0 team, but maybe now they're running into the Reedsville composition that is meant to kind of poke you out. You have the Junkrat, you have the Junkrat spam, and even on University, this is going to work out even better. You have the Dynamite from Clever Turtle, you have the bombs from Quirky Turtle as well. That nade launcher and the Dynamite and the shots are meant to poke you out alongside Shaken Turtle. Pine Forest, what they need to do is they need to run right at them and make sure that that damage from Quirky Turtle and Shaken Turtle, if you can get around them, you can get the picks in the back line. And now especially that you're going to have Lazy Turtle coming in and a pocketed Ash most likely from Magic Turtle as well. This is going to look like a little bit of a dangerous scenario. The Soul Reinhardt right now has to come up big because that shield's not going to last for long the way this is looking.
No. Between Quirky and Shaken. A lot of damage onto a shield. But you know what? If you get the kills quick, I mean, that's exactly what you're asking for. Pine Forest moves in and very decisively take down 2. Now, one of those will get rezzed back up, but still, Soul is in deep. So winging away, finds himself in a trap and has to shield up against some Junkrat spam. But still, first cap will go to Pine Forest.
See, that's what you like to see. Some from Reedsville, that's a poke composition. Now you have a chance. You had to play quickly there. That's exactly what they did with Turtles on the Lucio. They made sure that Soul was able to push up and get a few swings away for a lot of 75 damage. So now they move on over to the Echo instead to make sure that maybe the Mercy gets Mercy pockets the Echo, I should say. And that's a lot of flyer damage with nobody being able to take that down for right now. So that Echo has advantage. But question is, Pine Forest with the tank of that Soul Reinhardt right now, they can just play safe for a little while.
Clever Turtle works around to the high ground to try to break open this choke with the Sim Reaper, holding down this with the Reinhardt. I mean, it's just this tiny little chokehold that Shaken was just struggling to get through. Unfortunately, the flank angle will not work out. Clever not able to get enough done from the high ground alongside Quirky, and Pine Forest maintain their hold.
Yeah, good maintain on the hold as well, and that's, again, a lot of spam damage coming out, especially with the Reaper, and you also have Soul just being able to swing away the hammer for free, not a lot of damage being poured out to him. So, again, Otono on the kill to Shaken Turtle. This is big for them. Symmetra just causing a lot of problems, not being able to take down the turrets unless it's already forcing you in as well. Symmetra here is just a great composition part to have.
Yeah, Photon Barrier is super strong, especially against a tire.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, look at this. I like this approach from Reedsville. Trying to do something a little different. Go underneath. Coalescence out, but the Orisa's not there yet. Lazy kind of getting ahead of the rest of the team. Photon Barrier is there. Quirky most likely want to wait that one out. Lots of ults coming online, but the Shatter from Soul is not going to let anybody press Q. Clever Turtle does manage to get that duplicate out. The tire lands on both supports. Both go down. No Suzu available. Rez there to bring Shaky Turtle back into this fight, and Reedsville come out strong and finally able to get some percentage on this map.
Yeah, Quirky saves the day here with the really the big rib tire that gets 2, and then now Reedsville able to hold on to a Terror Surge. Pine Forest, though, coming up on a Kitsune Rush, and alongside of a Death Blossom, that spells basic death for you, especially if that Reinhardt or especially if that Reaper lands up in the back line and you have no defensive ultimates against this. The only thing you'll have is a spear throw in. Right now, if Soul lands up here, well, watch out for your sides because here comes the Reaper.
That's a disastrous, though, for the Reinhardt to fall in the pit during the Kitsune Rush. I mean, while they're out of the fight, Quirky Turtle's able to find 2. They do return to Nov, and with Death Star, might be able to correct course here. Hopefully they can, for them, find this Moira. Fade already is. There shouldn't be much else to keep him alive. Narrowly avoiding disaster. Pine Force are going to flip this back and send us into round 3.
Yeah, they're probably going to send us back. Nobody's touching the point. Nobody's
they cap,
right
guys.
now. Yeah, they got a cap. They do cap indeed, and I think they're probably not going to get another touch here unless that Junkrat comes up big. And yeah, so they do get the kill onto Turtles, but it's not big enough there. But a great play overall. Like I said, big play from that Reaper that basically puts a lot of pressure onto a point, especially when a Death Blossom is there, and a Death Blossom finding at least one will most likely win you a fight, especially if the rest of the team groups up around you, follows up, and so Death Star getting that big Blossom, and Soul maybe dropping to the ground, but was able to get back up fairly quickly and not with a lot of casualties or not a lot of mistakes either coming out from Pine Forest. So the 2-0 team on their heels is able to score another point as we head into the Gardens, and we look at the composition. Reedsville instead going for the Zarya here when we get down to it.
You mentioned that we have Turtles versus the Turtles. Hi, Soul. Everybody wave to Soul. Let's get some waves in chat. Hi, Soul.
Hello, Soul. He says, hi, stream. Hello, Soul. How are you?
Quirky Turtle go back over to the Pharah here. Good skybox on Gardens. Pharah can be quite nasty. It's one of those kind of micro meta picks, like for this specific sub map, because of how well you can dance around those high ground archways.
Yeah, and the big thing, too, here is that Reaper's not going to be able to do anything. Yes, he can jump up, but you also have big healing, especially if Magic Turtle can fly right up to you. So the big thing here is you got to run down Shaken Turtle if you want to get any value out of this whatsoever. That's exactly what they do to start, but Pine Forest has to kind of back off now, knowing that they have it. They can play a little bit safer around this far. That's going to cause a lot of havoc.
Oh, Soul just finds himself surrounded. Everywhere you looked, there was a Reedsville player with gun pointed at Soul. Oh my, and without the Riot Heart, well, the Pine Forest squad is just like a little punching power. I say that. Kuro the Cat is here to prove me wrong. Kiriko has plenty of punching power, according to Kuro the Cat. They're able to pick up a pair and bring Pine Forest back in this fight. One where they lose their Reinhardt almost immediately, and still they're able to come out on top. It's going to be a teleport trying to chase down the Ramatra. Quirky Turtle is still floating around here somewhere also. Shaken ends up on an island, and Pine Forest never relinquished control.
Switching on over to a Sigma as well. Late there, Soul switching from the Reinhardt. I love the swap here because that's going to allow you to kind of put a shield anywhere that this far is going to go to, and as well as kind of soak up the damage that the Sojourner is putting out, and that makes sure that that 5 charge only turns into 1 each time a shot is fired onto the shield. So I love the swap right now from the Sigma, and now you're going to have a Photon Barrier coming up as well. Reedsville will have a lot of ultimates online, but like I've been saying, this Photon Barrier can come up big. You only need that one to block out all of the damage, and for right now, that's on the side of Otono that uses it early.
I love those little micro plays. Quirky Turtle uses the jump jets in just the right possible millisecond to avoid that rock. Death Star finds first blood here in this fight. Valkyrie out from Reedsville to try to pull this thing back, but Quirky Turtle goes down! No, they were so close to the barrage, and that could have been just the ticket, but alas, Reedsville will not have it here. It's just a coalescence to try to survive through this fight, but they can't get the damage done to find any kills. I say that Lazy Turtle eventually will hunt down Kuro the Cat. It took him a while, but 2 kills have gone back. Reedsville managed to get 2 in a 3v5, and now their own reinforcements are about to show up. Here is the Annihilation, manages to get past the Gravitic Flux, but the Mercy cannot. Flies to the skies with 1 health, and Shaken Turtle bails out Magic.
Oh no, but Clever Turtle uses the overclock, but before that, I'll say I did not think Reedsville was going to be able to flip that, considering what Pine Forest was doing to them. They stayed alive for so long, but the Annihilation, the good healing from Lazy Turtle and Magic Turtle keeping up Shaken Turtle really shakes things up, honestly, because now you have the big far barrage with no Photon Barrier to protect you, really only a bot to aim at the skies except for Death Star, and now you have Kudo the Cat also with the Kitsune Rush as well. I'm expecting a big rush out here, especially with that TP from up top.
Yeah, clever positioning, trying to catch Reedsville off guard. It seems to have worked. Shaken Curls didn't even know what hit him. Clever Turtle back into a corner. Beautiful headshots from Soul as they just massively run over Reedsville. What a swap over to this Orisa.
Yeah, swap over to the Orisa for Soul. Instead, it's able to throw you a Javelin. It's able to score you a point. It's able to score you a map win in the end. Great job from Soul. And again, with that Kitsune Rush and the combination of a Kitsune Rush alongside an Orisa, if the rest of the team runs you down and you don't have something of a defensive ult like a Transcendence or a Sound Barrier, you're going to get ran over, and they got ran over. And play of the game coming out from Reedsville's Quirky Turtle. This was on the Riptire. I'm assuming this was from second point, which was the University. And yes, big one, getting both of the supports in. That really turned the fight to allow Reedsville to get themselves a point win here. So overall, a big one from Pine Forest in the end. But, I mean, just big plays from Pine Forest to give themselves a lead and 1 map in and 1 map away from a perfect 3-0 record in the groups, which would allow you to get that first round bye, which would be absolutely crazy, especially when you know that first round bye in the tournament bracket come tomorrow is going to be an absolute help to you because you can watch other teams play before that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're going to get several teams, 20 some odd teams will get sent home out of around 20 teams, I suppose. Let me do some math. 30, yeah, okay, 15 teams will get sent home after the first round or roughly thereof. So you avoid that entire option. Like you get that first round bye, and you just get to skip over that, and you don't even have to worry about being one of those 15 teams. So definitely a huge boon. Not to mention, you kind of get an opportunity to rest your squad as well as scout what the other people are playing as well.
Yeah, I mean, a first round bye in a 3-team, I mean, it kind of works like the World Cup, honestly, where you have 3 teams that are going to advance on inside of the group, but the first team will always get the bye here, and that's really big for you, knowing that with that bye, again, like you said, you get to scout, you get to relax, you get to do all these things, but the bigger thing here is that they're not in a do or die situation for this team from this game that we just played here from Reedsville. They really need to step this up if they want to get that 2-1 record, because tying a team like Pine Forest would mean that it comes down to tiebreakers. But even then, even if they were to lose that tiebreaker, you still have a 2-1 record. You match up the top of the group, and so you're proving something that first round bye may not mean anything if you were to meet them again. So now you move on to our second map here, and when we get to the second map of Hybrid's really going to determine what we see throughout the compositions. I like the pick swaps. I like the flexibility from both teams. In fact, from the team that just won here, that you've got an Arisa there. You've got a team from Pine Forest that knows how to flip, knows how to flop, knows how to switch around whatever they've got. So with the depth chart that they've had, honestly, I think they've got a shot at pulling off the 2-0 here when we get into Hybrid.
It was close. I mean, let's not forget, they lost the first sub map there on Oasis. Like we saw them looking really good on the back half of that map, but first round went to Reedsville. So let's not fall into that easy trap of recency bias and suddenly give Pine Forest the advantage here, because on that first round, Reedsville were looking really good and they kept it very close. I mean, they almost took University. Like it was real close. It
was super close. Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, obviously for Pine Forest, it's not like they're perfect. Reedsville has had their own stuff, and when you have a team enveloped in the turtle, I guess you could say that their team, that their team is close. Teamwork is very nice, and that they have something cooking here. So as we go into the next map of Kings Row, this is Scrims Row. This is the map that a lot of teams like playing, because that they've got some compositions that they want to line up. They want to try here. I've seen a lot of times where, I mean, it's an old strategy, but with Bastion being kind of back in the meta, you'd love to see something of a Symmetra Bastion kind of come up on top if you're on the attacking side. But Reedsville right now holding on to what is a Widowmaker Reaper for right now. But Pine Forest, on the other hand, again, I love the Life Weaver right now in this patch. You love the healing coming out of it, especially the burst healing alongside of that Tree of Life. I love what Pine Forest is showing right now. Mobility, quickness, escapeness, that's what you want out of a team, especially like Kings Row. And from Reedsville, especially if that Reinhardt's going to go in, you want that mobility to go around the Reinhardt to get that damage out.
The Life Grip is just such a strong ability.
Oh, yeah.
From the Life Weaver. You feel like, oh, I've got somebody trapped in name an ultimate. And Turtles is just able to nullify it completely. Pick your Turtles. I mean, again, we have Turtles versus the Turtles. Here in our final match, our marquee matchup for day 2 of our regional qualifiers. Map 2 is underway. Pine Forest looking to close it out in a clean 3-0 through groups.
Yeah, they're going to come out here with the same composition. The Widowmaker hasn't really found, or does find a shot off, but mainly a body shot, if anything. But still, this is Reedsville just kind of poking them out right now with that Widowmaker, looking to see if that Widowmaker can give them the go button here. And Quirky Turtle just finding their way around the edge. This is Pine Forest just kind of waiting, and Turtle's already up to 40% to the Tree of Life, means that Tree of Life could very well be the difference if we're going to keep dry fighting this.
Ooh, Lazy, be careful. Okay. Lazy moves in just the right time. Kind of got ahead of their team, and I was worried for the Ana for a second, but Quirky's now moved up to the high ground. Clever sticking with the Widowmaker this far into the fight, while Quirky's able to pick Turtles out of the back. Big pin in from Shaken. And it's just bought a lot of space. You can see Quirky just follows Shaken in right on their heels and just picking up some kills, throwing in all that damage all along the way. Now, with that said, Shaken Turtle is low, but, out of mech goes Soul.
Yeah, out of mech there. I think Soul was trying to escape in the window there, but it's not going to work out. And good Bionate to make sure that D.Va doesn't stay alive either. So they're going to get at least a free tick here. Now, if they want to contest, they're going to have to come up with Soul. Either that or Turtles has to come up with a Tree of Life to do it. But I don't think they have enough chances to try and take this, which means they're going to add another 2.5 to the bank.
Well, I mean, Soul's not in the fight. Like, it's Soul. There's just no shot for Soul to get back in time for them to contest. Yeah. So, I mean, it's good for Pine Forest that I was going to say that it didn't lose anyone. But Death Star falls as I start to open my mouth. That self-destruct should be no problem. I saved that. Lazy, how do you get caught by that? There's so much cover back there. Soul must have just dropped that in the most perfect spot to catch that Ana out. Big play from Pine Forest so they can hold this all-important archway.
Well, you got to remember now, remember the name Lazy Turtle, right? Maybe just a little bit too slow to get out of the way, especially with the Ana. But 4 ultimates online. Earth Shatter comes up big.
Woo! Massive shatter.
Oh.
Absolutely monstrous. Love to see it. Oh my, I'm not sure anything puts a smile on my face more than just seeing a big slam. And that's what we just got there from Shaken.
I don't think there's any bigger. I don't think there's an ultimate gets any bigger reaction than either the self-destruct or the Earth Shatter when it lands up big on both ends. So, or even a Riptire as well. Any explosive ult you can get. But big plays here. Turtles goes down. I don't know how Turtles kills themselves in this case. I'm not too sure how.
Your guess is as good as my question marks. I don't know. I mean, unless they just took a wrong turn running up, it's the only thing I can figure is fell in one of those small little environmental pits on the way from the foundry. I don't think that makes any sense. Still, Pine Forest are able to hold on the back of this point. A win here would go a long way into solidifying this map. But down low, Shaken Turtle has to get life grip back. A clever move, smart play out of Magic. But I think there's, the Reaper is still caught over here in this corner, but they managed to get the job done. You're not stuck in here with me, I'm stuck in here with you, or however that saying goes. Quirky is the one who walks out alive, and you're stuck in there with them. Oh, and a Death Blossom to boot.
Yeah, Death Blossom just to secure it, basically. Reedsville moving on over to the Widowmaker now. Pine Forest hasn't changed anything, but Pine Forest should try to look into a change of some sort here. This Ashe isn't really finding any value from what they're doing. The Dynamites aren't very big as well, and they can get the life grip out from Turtles. You have the, or from Magic Turtle, excuse me. So now you're coming into this with an Nana Boost. Shaken Turtle also coming up on an Earth Shatter as well. If that Earth Shatter lands, it's pretty much going to be game over with the amount of space that Reedsville is getting right now from Pine Forest. So Pine Forest either needs to play this aggressively or one Earth Shatter could end it all.
Oh, it looks like it's about to land. They get booped up. What a play! As they get pushed up by the Junkrat, and it completely throws off the Earth Shatter. My goodness, Death Star, you are the hero Pine Forest needed. With a nano boost, though, your job's not done. Shaken is into the mix and has already picked up 2. The Tree of Life fades here from Pine Forest, and a Bionade lands onto a pair as well. So, Shaken is going to get very aggressive, a little too aggressive, as a matter of fact. Now the Dragon Blade out from Pine Forest to try to put a stop to this card.
I don't know if I'd make the call to use the blade there. They already had the tank down of Shaken Turtle. It didn't look like they could have turned that around, especially with Shaken Turtle not having it. But the big thing here,
it was Blade, Coalescence, and Sound Barrier after the fight. I don't know if that
was worth the investment there, because now you have no ultimates going into this, and now Reedsville's got a lot of percentages. Look, Shaken Turtle in that last fight, by the way, used their Earth Shatter. Look at the percentage right now, Bulls going 80%. They're back.
Oh man, that really does just put the biggest smile on my face. You go, Shaken. Oh, I mean, I'm getting shades of London Spitfire here. I mean, this is find your own identity and make the world take notice. And Reedsville are making Pine Forest take notice at the moment. Earth Shatter online, ready to go. It's going to be a teleport up to the top here from Magic Turtle using that elevator. Quirky is protecting this small little room. No, Death Star, no easy fight for you. And the Shatter is monstrous once again. But a good challenge card from Soul denies Shaken from getting any follow-up. Death Blossom in the back is going to get 3. Better turn around because Quirky is there. Oh my, it's massive. This card's going in, and this time bank is looking insurmountable.
Yeah, I don't think they get one more touch.
Maybe
Ball gets moved away.
Nope.
Not even a chance. I mean, nice job there from Reedsville to complete the entire map. That Death Blossom from Quirky at the end, huge. Shaken Turtle, by the way, I want to point out this one more time. Remember when we were talking about Shaken Turtle's percentages? I don't know if you noticed this at the end. Use the Earth Shatter, but does get countercharged. But right as they got that payload done for the map, Shaken Turtle was back at 50%. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but Shaken Turtle's just building up this ultimate regardless every single fight you get a chance to, so watch out for this tank here. I know you're smiling in the background over there because that Shaken Turtle right now is just absolutely going bonkers. 2 minutes and 32 seconds, a 5 minute and 28-second completion on Kings Row. What Pine Forest was given to them, Reedsville was given to them double.
Absolutely spectacular work. Oh. Reedsville, not quite able to get it done there in the first map as they drop it. I come out there on the Reinhardt on the attack and just command respect. Now Shaken going over to a Sigma for the defense. Probably the most commonly played tank we're seeing in the meta at the moment.
Yeah, most common tank right now is either going to be a Sigma or an Orisa. Sigma more or less just gives you a little bit more of a bigger kit, as well as the stun potential, the CC potential with the accretion and the kinetic grasp, keeping you alive a little bit longer, just like Orisa's Fortify. But at the same time, too, for Pine Forest, what they want to do is be a little more aggressive, a little bit more mobile. That's where the Soul and Kudo the Cat, Lucio, and Diva come in. At the same time, though, if Death Star can find a pick on this Widowmaker for the back end on the very beginning, you're looking very good. Clever Turtle falling all the way down as well. That was a very nice shot from Death Star to start this off. And oh, now they're just trading blows at this point. Nobody's really healing them. Quirky Turtle, though, back in. Hello. Oh, nice sleep.
Yeah, Quirky Turtle was trying to set up a little blitzkrieg there in the back, but gets found out the bio and the sleep. Turtles to stop Quirky. Death Star will eventually win out that duel over Clever. Oh, the Widowmaker pick coming up pretty good here for Pine Forest, as they've got a 5v4 and are looking for a way in past Quirky to see if they can finish off this point. Quirky tried to use that Shadow Step to get away, but no. Pine Forest are all over it. Now with no DPS, this should be a pretty swift point A.
This should be pretty swift, honestly, unless, I mean, they're going to see Clever Turtle. Clever Turtle finds a headshot here. This is going to look a little bit longer than you would want here, and yep, there it is. Clever Turtle gets Death Star, and that's the Iron Turtles. Oh my goodness.
There's a Widowmaker bring back point A, Kings Row. Turtle gets some revenge for their fallen friends. But, I mean, Reedsville, now at least they can hold this choke. Like, they've got good options. Quirky Turtle has the option to go contest. Can they make it? Yeah, they're here. Pine Forest stepped off the point. They didn't cap, and now Quirky is contesting, and here comes Shaken up the front with the Reinhardt, and we're going to get a full-blown battle. I say that. Quirky gets run away, and Shaken can't get on to contested time. It was looking so good for Reedsville until it wasn't.
Yeah, now this needs to... Oh, my God!
What? Well, Soul! I mean, you have had some perfectly placed bombs today. That one absolutely takes the cake. Oh my. I haven't seen anything like that since the days of Poco.
Oh my good, I'm gonna quote a meme here, but need I say more? I mean, there's nothing to really say other than Soul placing that bomb perfectly. So now you're coming up with a street space with a nano boost and as well as a Bastion alongside of a Lucio sound barrier. Everything's going Pine Forest's way right now. You throw that nano boost on the Bastion, you have no defensive ult beside Tree of Life, and if Tree of Life comes up, that Bastion nano boosted can just shred that away and you're not gonna have one anymore.
So much damage. It's unreal how much damage comes out of a nano Bastion. Ooh, pin in as all guns were pointed at the Bastion. They take out a Toto instead. Yeah, we do get a Boostio, don't we? Obviously, it's not exactly what they wanted to do with it. Reedsville lands theirs on to the Reinhardt. Shatter is down, and immediately 2 kills fall here for Reedsville. Townbear even thrown in late from Kuro the Cat, and Pine Forest look like they might have to settle this one in map 3 unless something happens quickly to turn this around, but Reedsville have all the momentum right now.
Yeah, Reedsville looking pretty good there. They did pretty well to hold off the nano boosted. Well, I mean, the nano boost unfortunately went on to Kudo the Cat, which means no more nano boost. But you still have an artillery strike left for you. You still have the EMP as well. Otono, I want to see use this EMP very early on so that Pine Forest can just speed right in using Kudo the Cat on the Lucio. Speed right on in, get that Bastion into the middle of the fray and just shred down everybody else because no shield means a lot of free room for this Bastion to play and no Tree of Life either.
Good read here from Reedsville. Recognized that Tono was trying to work around alley side to use said EMP. But Reedsville make the call, and they're going to run them off, forces Otono back into the middle, and they almost get pinned. But alas, it's Otono who comes up with the final blow. Pair going to Pine Forest's way, as a matter of fact. They finish off Quirky Turtle, who was on a very deep flank, and, well, here comes the car approaching the Foundry. Might be time for a contest, though. Oh, not with those late kills. Oh. Those are important late kills, because that certifies there will be no contest.
Yeah, if you contest this right now, that'd be a mistake considering that your Ana's going to spawn all the way back. So if they try to do this, I'd feel like this is a mistake and you're going to waste a lot of time. And yep, they don't do that. Smart play. Keep it around the corner for right now. Regroup, recontest here when you get around the corner, then you at least get 2 fights. Unlike what Reedsville did earlier, or rather what Pine Forest did earlier, now it's just going to be a fight in. This Reinhardt charging in. Very risky, mind you, but lots of ultimates coming online, including a huge EMP.
Trying to finish off the strike on the back. Shield Clever Turtle has nowhere to run. 2 kills on the back of that EMP self-destruct. Sleep onto the Diva to try to buy some space, but Lazy Turtle still scrambling for any safe place to hide. Magic Turtle's down. Lazy is down as well. No supports left. And this is looking to be equally comparable and daunting time bank for Pine Forest. Reedsville with no sustain here. There's nothing they can do to stop this.
Oh, they got the Bob out, which can stall it out just as much as they can, but now the Samurai is going to come out and pretty much defend this. So Bastion shredding away. One more turret for him could very simply make the difference here.
Nano on to Soul as well, but just so much sustain in this fight. Of course, Nano provides damage reduction as well as the extra damage. Shatter finds too, but there's just nobody else there. It's like, yeah, I got the Bastion stunned for a moment, but unfortunately all three of their teammates are shooting you in the face, Shaken, and this card's going in. Very close time banks, a mere 13 seconds separating the two.
And over 2 minutes, mind you, the difference being only 13 seconds with both of these teams finishing over 2 minutes on the clock. Now, for those that don't know, folks, if the time bank goes over 2 minutes on both ends, it'll reduce the lower end to 2 minutes as well. But the fact that it's this close, but still both teams finished over 2 minutes means they love the attacking side. So now this 2 minutes is going to show us 13 seconds is not a lot of time, but that's quick. If you decide to regroup and only lose maybe one person, you can regroup, you can try to breathe a little bit and then come back in. That's the difference for Pine Forest right now. For Reedsville, got to come out swinging, and they did early on.
13 seconds is pretty negligible. Each team is going to get about the same amount of ult cycle. Each team can count on one full ult cycle to play with. So it's how they use those ults that I think is going to be the real difference maker.
Yeah, I think 13 seconds, you're right, it is negligible, but I think for a team that knows how to back off, 13 seconds isn't bad, especially if you only get picked off once. You can just relax, keep it for a second, then hit the overtime clock altogether, but that 13 seconds does make a little bit of a difference. 2 minutes, though, for Reedsville. They're going to bring out the Echo, and I like this pick because you do have Soul and Turtles maybe hitting you down, but otherwise, if that, as we've seen before, where any flyers are not kept in check, Clever Turtle's going to be able to pop off. Your Soul, though, staying on the Diva, know that mobility, but Reedsville on this Sigma as well against. No, Soul's actually a last-second switch to a Sigma, but that means that Sigma's not there, so I know they don't know this, but they could just go button this here as well because they're going to get the taxi back, but Shaken Turtle can just walk right in.
Yeah, that's the speed was enough. So Pine Force, I'm definitely cutting that one a little close, and Curl the Cat falls as soon as they get back into the fight. The Sigma is there, and we do get a Sigma v Sigma matchup. Able to block the initial accretion. Reedsville playing it safe despite finding that early pick on the Curl the Cat.
Yeah, you find your pick on early Kudo the Cat, and now Death Star finding a big pick on the Clever Turtle as well means that this team really has no engage with that go button, and now it's just this Junkrat being able to be not kept in check whatsoever, so that's a big win here for Pine Forest on the defensive end as Reedsville doesn't have anything, and now Death Star coming up on a Riptire at 73%.
Yeah, Junkrat spamming into this choke can definitely get a lot of work done. A little trap right out in front there. That felt like Reedsville just dancing around. I was just waiting for somebody to step into it. But hey, you know what? They managed to do enough fancy footwork to avoid it and find a kill. But losing Shaky, not a good start. Tire comes out, and that's going to finish that fight. Rez does go off, and Quirky Turtle's able to move in and pick up one. So it's a 2v2. It's just a Lucio and an Ana versus Shaken and Quirky on the Zenyatta with Transcendence here. So that Rez, the sacrificial Rez onto Shaken, might have just saved this map for Reedsville.
Yeah, I mean, they may have saved it. Yeah, they're just going to stagger out at this point, but now Otono gets rid of Quirky Turtle and doesn't have a Transcendence anymore, but yeah, it's just going to be a stagger out for right now. The Sigma can come back in all they want to, but Protection Suits is going to have to keep being kept safe until the very last second here.
With the Discord Orb and the accretion, like Soul barely got back on their feet or floating above their feet before they were just knocked right back on their butt again. So good play from Reedsville, and the Zenyatta coming in very handy here. What a pick.
Yeah, great pick with that Orbit Discord. You're able to focus down the correct targets here, especially either on the Junkrat or on the Sigma. You can keep it on them and making sure that you can just melt them down, making sure there's no more choke damage. So great play by Quirky Turtle, allows them to move right on into the point and kind of play a little bit more aggressively. Now Shaken Turtle and Soul both having their gravitic fluxes, but no Transcendence coming out from Reedsville either. But Quirky Turtle finding a big pick onto Otono. That's huge. That's going to allow them to move up even more.
And remember, friends, we're in overtime, so Otono will take far longer than normal to spawn, and are going to spawn all the way back in the Foundry. So be a while before they get back in this fight. Most supports are caught in that gravitic flux. The tank got the Suzu, but Kuro the Cat did not save themselves with it. And Reedsville continue to march forward and have had an advantage basically since capping point A, and they continue to press that advantage. Soul trying to deny res, but can't get it. What a block! Shaken steps up at just the right moment. Photon barrier from Lazy Turtle to split the street in half, and Reedsville with this push and pull have been beautiful. It's a huge anti-nade, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, there's no one there. Kudo is going to be the only one that can contest, if anything, and I don't know if you want your Kiriko there. So Soul switches on over to the Reinhardt instead. Try to recontest this point, but Quirky Turtle making their way back. It's farther away than what this Reinhardt has to do. So a very quick fight. Kudo goes down. Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not good at all. Yeah, Soul wanted to recontest this, but just can't. And without Quirky there, it was probably their best opportunity because the Discord orbs have just been ripping them to shreds. So Pine Forest had a chance to get in there with no Discord orb and make a contest, but yeah, what a beautiful kill, taking the Kiriko out of the fight, and that put a stop to that. And Reedsville have gotten 5 points with a mere 2 minutes now. EMP from the defense, and still Soul goes down. Otono's EMP does eventually pick up too. The Transcendence comes in a touch late here from Reedsville. Do still have Shaken. Oh, they're close, but they stepped off the point. Not ideal, not ideal. I know you're typing letter numbers in chat right now, but still 5 points on the board in 2 minutes. Whatever advantage we were discussing, however minute, that Pine Forest had, they do not have it anymore. That distance just trumped whatever time bank they've got left.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right on that. 13 seconds does not compare to 2 points and 22 meters. Also, to your point about the letter number, it has now been 0 days since the last one, so as per normal. But the joke there keeps going. But 2 minutes and 13 seconds now. Pine Forest coming up on what is really looking like a mountain, considering what Reedsville did to them. And Quirky Turtle staying on this Zenyatta. I like that. The Zenyatta really hasn't been kept, if anything, on check, as I keep saying, because that Orb of Discord is just a good target focused down. It allows the team to focus on that one target that's Orb of Discord. And now with Pine Forest instead opting, if this holds now with Death Star on the Torben, I like the pick to make sure that there's no Somber maybe in the backline, but Reedsville really hasn't been playing this. So this Torben, or now it's a switch to the Widowmaker instead, which is pretty common to start. But anyways, Pine Forest, if they're going to play this combination, they need to go quickly, and they need to get rid of this Zenyatta quickly just as well.
It's amazing how well the Discord orb kind of acts as a homing beacon. I mean, prior to us having the ping system, the Discord orb was like, everybody shoot whoever's got that purple dot above their head because they're going to die, and it really helped to focus the team. And I think that same attribute is still there as we have evolved through this. So not only do you get the extra damage, but you kind of attract the attention of the team. Unfortunately, Clever attracted the attention of Otono in the back. And this is a 5v4 for the defense. Not how they wanted to start off this approach for Reedsville to try to push us to this map 3.
Yeah, and the big thing there was Clever Turtle didn't get rezzed either, which means they're going to be out of a player for right now. Clever Turtle switching on over to the Sojourn, but got to slide into action now or never. Shaken Turtle's hacked, so this is going to be an interesting fight to see if Shaken Turtle can stay up.
When we saw Shaken on the run and the Sigmas, first time we've seen him on the Orisa on this map, and it's just not working out very well against the Diva. A couple of kills on the back end of this. There's woo, it's getting messy. This is getting a little messy here for Reedsville.
Got a little messy, but you do your job there. You waste a little bit of time. You're not giving it up all too free, although now you look at the ultimates for Pine Forest. Careful of the Soul Diva Bomb here that's already at 82%. You also have the Sound Barrier at 85, Nano Boost at 78 for Reedsville. Really nothing doing. They're going to switch on over now to kind of protect that backline a little bit more with Quirky Turtle on the Brigida instead. Now that Otono is still on the Somber, they're going to try to protect the Mercy all they can, plus the backline DPSs of Clever Turtle and Lazy Turtle. But now not a lot of big healing. It's more singular, if anything. So if you're Pine Forest, you really want to take advantage of this, especially with an Nano Boost coming your way with 45 seconds remaining.
I will say it's singular, assuming that there's not the
Valkyrie,
not rally heals, but Inspire heals.
Oh, yeah.
If Inspire is up all the time, Quirky can absolutely pump out a ton of healing to this squad, but it's trickier than it sounds. Self-destruct in the back, Bubbles, teleport, no! Still Clever and Magic get caught out. So many ways to escape, but Soul puts in another perfectly placed self-destruct. Now both support ults invested from Pine Forest to close out this fight.
I don't know if that was the call there, guys. You had a nano boost, just you could have saved that for the next fight, especially with Otono having the EMP. So now Reedsville is going to come up here with what is basically, if they can get that rally up in time, also an overclock, a photon barrier, and one of their own Valkyries that's already up. So maybe you could have saved that either, I mean, maybe not the sound barrier, obviously, to save yourself from the Terror Surge, but Turtles could have hung onto the nano boost, and now they're down that. It's just going to have to be the EMP that comes up big here in overtime.
I'm still stuck on that selfish. The Soul Bomb may be the most ruthless, dangerous thing in VESL right now. Outside has 6 seconds to...
no.
Can't even get into the fight. Reedsville have a rally and all the bolstering they need. They are marching right on. It did cost them 4 ults in this fight of their own. Oh!
Doesn't matter though, that was overtime. So Pine Forest really needed it. And yeah, big thing there again. I keep seeing this from these teams. Otono holds on like a Sombra, the Sombra holding onto the EMP, looking for a big play, but it's not in that situation where you're looking for a big play. You're looking for picks, especially in overtime. And the way the spawns work in overtime, you're just looking for something to kill. And that EMP could have come up huge, especially against the tank there, or even just the regular DPS as we see play the game from Quirky Turtle. We're tied up at 1 apiece, and now we go into this final map here where this is winner take all of Group L. Winner gets the first round bye. So knowing that, now there's a lot more on the line at stake. A first round bye, everything's at stake. And between Pine Forest here, Pine Forest needs to kind of group themselves together. Yes, it was overtime, but that 13 seconds could have been big differential. Unfortunately, the way that that game played out, that 13 seconds didn't even matter.
Nope. No, I'm afraid not. Huge push there from Reedsville. And it's all turtle power. I mean, it is the heroes in the half shell sending us to round number 3 to decide who takes number 1 place and that first round bye here in Group L. I mean, and it's hard to understate the importance of that and the advantage of that enough as to that. I mean, that'll propel you basically into top 30 immediately.
Yeah, it'll push you into a top map, but now this is going to be a little bit of a push, if you will, on either end, because this is going to be a push to the finish. This is going to be the map that decides this all, who's going to get into essentially the top 50% with just this one win by itself. So now we're going to see the next map here being Esperanza. So this is the map, like I said, either players really like or really hate. It's really not in the middle either way here, because New Queen Street is that one for me, but it's the same thing on either end. But Esperanza plays a little bit differently, not the full-on line of sight chokehold that you see that Coliseum has. This one is more of a guarded right around the big tower, right around the big bell tower. So the first fight essentially is going to come out to whoever can poke out the best and whoever can take advantage of the backline picks the best. So here's where Otono can shine, especially on that Sombro. If you get that backline pick, will be huge. But Esperanza, rather, I will say, out of the push maps, I love it the most aesthetically. Out of the way it plays, though, it can be arguable.
Oh, this is hands down my favorite push map. Hands down. I love all the routes you can take and the variety it has. I mean, you can play high ground, you can play multiple styles, you can play poke, you can play rush, you can play dive. Like, there's just such... It gives room for so many options, and then you have the actual style of playing the map where it's got this unique, like, kind of drop the bot off and pull back. You see that a little bit on New Queen Street, but I feel like the rotations are even more impertinent here in Esperanza.
Yeah, but with the meta right now, I do agree with you. I love all the different ways you can attack this push map. The only problem right now is that a lot of people, I guess, with the current meta right now, don't like Esperanza the way it plays out. But I digress, because nobody is playing the meta here in high school, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. What I am gonna worry about here is Pine Forest with an Orisa up against Shaken Turtle on this Ramacha versus an Orisa. Very interesting combination. If Soul can get a few javelin throws on the right people, this is gonna look really good for Pine Forest. Not only that, though, Otono's got to look for a very big pick, and I would say your very big pick off target is going to be Magic Turtle on the Mercy, because you get rid of the Mercy, you get rid of a lot of big healing.
Not to mention the res. Ops to go for Quirky. Not able to get enough damage down themselves, but Death Star wins out their one-on-one duel, and Otono runs for a second round. Lands those headshots. I mean, you see how accurate that gun was. Otono just pulled it out, and it was just pinpoint right on the dome of Lazy.
Yeah, oh, Turtles gets caught out by the Total Mayhem. That's unfortunate. Well, Turtles gets back in with speed anyways, but you see what I mean when Antono can just get right around here, especially on a map like this, just can absolutely pick up the back line and has the high-low grounds to high, low ground and cover to just get right around and make sure that they can get that hack and that the virus off at the same time. 2 virus picks there, and now Reedsville is going to move on over to the Echo instead, knowing that there's only one hit scan that can hit them. That's going to be Death Star, but if Death Star finds that pick with already 72% and a Bob coming up, that's going to be very big trouble for Pine Forest coming, or for Reedsville coming up.
Almost had Shaken caught in that corner. Shaken doing good to get back into the safety of that archway where the health pack and the supports are. Jeff Quirky, while this bot is pushing forward, Shaken moves up to try to deny the cap. It has already used their Nemesis form. Now forced off the... Trying to dash, but has an Orisa just throwing bullets and then javelins and everything into their back. But reinforcements have showed up. Clever Turtle is down here on the front line. Unfortunately, the only DPS. Support ult now coming in from Pine Forest. The Soundbarrier start things off. The Terror Surge coupled with that. And may not need that concern a rush as the kills pile up, and here's the checkpoint for Pine Forest.
Yeah, Valkyrie not showing up anything for Magic Turtle. I like the thinking on pocketing the Echo, but the Echo really not doing anything for you, so you might want to swap off on that. And as I say that, they do move on over to the Life Weaver. Like the pick here, you get a lot more burst healing, you get a lot more, even if it's singular healing, a lot quicker healing, if you will, and you're going to have a better ultimate in the Tree of Life to keep you up. Now with Pine Forest, you've got 3 ultimates, including a Kitsune Rush. A Kitsune Rush plus a Bob can do you wonders, even a Kitsune Rush plus a Somber in general.
I think Fox Bob is one of the most underrated combos. It's just fun. 2 quick kills here for Pine Forest, and Reedsville's struggle bus continues going in the wrong direction, and that is just straight towards their spawn and towards Reedsville coming up second place. Vice champions, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, great overall right now for Pine Forest. Not even losing that fight, not even having to spend a single ultimate. So again, going to have 3 ultimates. Now using the Coalescence already to start off here. That's going to lead Pine Forest in to use every other ultimate.
EMP will shut down. Oh, it was EMP and Bob at the same time. That actually just looked amazing. It looked like Bob EMP'd. And it's going to be good enough for 4 kills. I don't know where Clever Turtle managed to escape to, but they're hiding. They're keeping their head in their shell at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Clever Turtle is able to use their wits to get out, but still only a duplication left to go. But Pine Forest, they can be pretty proud of this push, even if they have to back off. You get rid of Lazy Turtle, though, so with the team coming back with the forward spawns, you actually have a chance to still fight this one out.
Maybe. Pine Forest tried to inch out every meter they could. That was a odd combination. Whatever. Still, Reedsville think have a player advantage in this fight. I say that they haven't really been able to kill anybody, so support reinforcements definitely showing up here soon. Soul pushes forward, has the Terror Surge ready to go, and also Shaken Turtle very, very low in the back and barely any charge to boot. Here comes the Tree of Life. Terror Surge right in the middle of it. It's got to wait to get nice and charged. Everybody able to... Soul wanted that thing to be max. Just gave time for everybody to get out of its range. And finally, Reedsville looked like they're able to put together a fight, win their first of this map.
They're first of the map, but look how far Pine Forest got. 130 meters. I mean, that's absolutely insane. Pine Forest gets cleaned up, but Reedsville instead now basically playing on the biggest back foot you're going to see in this map. And now Pine Forest moving on over from the Orisa into the Reinhardt. Not a bad option either, running right into the Zarya as well as the Reaper. You can at least shield a little bit of damage behind, but what Pine Forest is now going to try to opt to do is try to pick off somebody big, and that's a big pick into Clever Turtle.
Tono has just been finding such amazing angles on the Sombra. Just seeming out of nowhere. Clearly catching Reedsville off guard. Clever falling a couple of times to him in this map already. Jacob with a Graviton Surge on the back end. Don't know if they want to use it here. The supports are in a very awkward position. Shaken is just retreating down Main Street, trying to find a way out. Magic Turtle will find none. The pin in. Shaken's not getting out either. This is just more time getting eaten off the clock.
Yeah, more time and more movement to the 4 checkpoints, and Otono has been great all game. This Sombra here in Esperanza has been absolutely wonderful because you're getting a lot of paths, and like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of paths for the Sombra to go through and making sure that there's a lot that can happen, and this Reaper falling oh so low, then the Sombra can just escape as long as they're with the rest of the team, but won't escape because Otono's just going to go on a tear with this.
Oh yeah, Tono's just catching everybody off guard. We saw Quirky. I mean, you saw the alert pop up above their head. Like, I didn't know there was a Sombra there. Tono just sneaks out from underneath them every single time. What a brilliant Sombra performance here in our final game of the group stage. Pine Forest will take this over to block Reedsville and celebrate going 3-0 in our groups. Pine Forest will take Group L and get a first round bye. What a start for this squad.
Yeah, Pine Forest getting that automatic buy, getting themselves in a great position here. Ah, you love to see that intro. You love to see the intro kind of bait, but this is very well deserved for Otono right at the end here because you can see the plays here. Great targeting, great timing on the EMP, making sure that then Zarya and then Mora doesn't get anything. And like I said, that EMP doesn't have to come up big. It doesn't need to catch all 5. It just needs to be enough to catch a pick. That's exactly what Otono did the entire nap. Great adjustment from the Sombra to make sure that that Sombra gets a lot of value out of that nap. Good picks on the back line. If the Sombra picks you off first, it's big. The rest of the team can just follow. It's a green light all the way for the purple character. I mean, an unbelievable play there from Otono at the end. Great win from Pine Forest. And Pine Forest starting off at a 3-0. It looked a little shaky against Reedsville, but in the end, able to get that first round bye and give themselves a top 50% inside of this group.
I mean, it is a bigger match, and I hope these two meet further in our single elim bracket that'll be going on tomorrow and Thursday, because this is one of those games that feels like a rivalry in the making. It was so close and such a back and forth and the changing of styles. One going Ryan, then I'm going to pull out the Sigma, then I'm going to pull out the Orisa. Like, we saw a lot of this dancing around, trying to see if they could outmaneuver each other, especially when it came to the tank picks. Yeah, I mean, but it was all Pine Forest there at the end. Esperanza 100% belonged to them. I mean, it was what, 140 to 0 or something at the end? I don't believe Reedsville got a single meter. If they did, it was very small amount, if at all. So, and then, I mean, Soul was so good. Soul bombs. Like, Soul bombs are the most terrifying thing in VESL right now, as far as I'm concerned. It's like Soul Bombs, Jackbird, and Thule's Genji. Those are my top 3 things that you should be afraid of if you're competing in VESL right now.
Yeah, just imagine an all-star team putting that all together. I mean, that would be a kind of a nuts team to put together. No, I mean, you have a bot, you have a mobile diva, you have a Thule Genji that's mobile as well, and then you also have Jackbird just with the
on either DPS or support. She's amazing at both.
Yeah, honestly, in overall, great first 2 days from what we saw thus far. I mean, you had a lot of off-meta picks, obviously. Like I said, right now from the collegiate scene that I've seen so far, it's been Orisa, Bastion, May, Sojourn, as well as Baptiste Lucio. I haven't really seen a lot of Orisa play, although as of late, maybe there was a little bit, but you saw kind of people playing their own style, and you like to see that. Iati hasn't been a popular pick, but Jackbird is making it so because Jackbird, she's just going off, popping off with her wherever she can, and then Diva not really in the meta either, but Soul on the bombs is great, and then Genji Genji's more of a pocket pick if anything, but Genji comes out with Thule, and that's great. So it's great to see all of these high school players, no matter what age they are, no matter what grade they are, really just showing off their stuff and giving us a show for the first 2 days.
I mean, I would count Otono in there as well. Can't leave Otono out with that Sombra. Oh, yeah. Not particularly meta at the moment either, but look how good Otono was on that hero. Definitely a big playmaker. Here for Pine Forest. And you know what? Can't forget y'all either. It's been an amazing 2 days. We're just through our qualifiers here. We haven't even gotten into the fun part. We haven't even gotten into the single elim bracket. We started off with 63 teams. We have 45 moving on into our competition tomorrow. But that will do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much, friends, for hanging out with us. Big shout out to Blasky Behind the Scenes, who is our producer tonight, keeping everything looking sharp for you. But we're going to call it. We're going to see you tomorrow. Have a great night, and, well, let's see you then.